All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning today, guys. Chips have sold off. The Kospi index down 6% overnight. Apparently, according to news sources, the president is waiting for Iran to cave on economic pressure. Tehran may be willing to wait. Bond yields, especially 30-year yields, are at 20-year highs. Again, chips have been selling off. The Kospi index down 6%. Today, we have the Fomc minutes report going live at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see how much that moves markets. I'm not going to I'm not going to exaggerate how much movement I think the FOMC minutes will do. It's an interesting minutes, though, because Warsh refuses to give forward guidance, and I think markets are still worried about inflation here. If we take a look at oil this morning, oil is still at $85 a barrel right now. You can see the NASDAQ sitting slightly in the red as of now. Here's oil, though. Oil is up to 84. Oil is green. It's up to 84.75 a barrel, basically $85 a barrel. But again, the Kospi index and memory names have been selling off. Here's MU, it's down to 930s. Here's Sandisk down to 1600s. Here's SK Hynix. SK Hynix is actually green on the day. But yeah, we got the FOMC minutes report and more going live. But Iran also threatened to hit U.S. targets in Europe, which was another story. The reason SK Hynix is up this morning in memory is because they announced a share buyback. So they announced a share buyback. The dollar index is lower today. We have, I believe, a couple different members. We have Lagarde speaking today, Musalem speaking today, and the president apparently speaking today. We did have some retail earnings from Home Depot. Or not Home, did we have Home Depot? I think we did. Yeah, Lowe's reported earnings, Target reported earnings. None of them have really reacted well, although kind of mixed results on both of those numbers. So specifically here, Target did report. They posted better than expected EPS, better than expected revenue. Lowe's reported as well, but it missed on revenue. It came in at $25.96 billion. They expected $26.18 billion. Here's Lowe's right here. Lowe's is down slightly, but it's retail earnings, so it's not really the center point in markets just because it's retail. Retail doesn't really move markets like that. Again, risk-off's tone overnight in Asian chips. 6% down, and the Kospi index is probably one of the big stories today. Again, SK Hynix announced plans to buy back, and they are gapping up a little bit this morning. We have the FOMC minutes report, the 20-year bond auction. Both have made a lot of people look at bonds this morning. Again, we haven't had a lot of Warsh communications, and then we're heading into next week with the Jackson Hole Symposium. Gold, on the other hand, if we look at gold, is up again today. Gold is at 44.20s this morning, so gold has been staying pretty resilient despite everything going on. But again, the president continued to threaten Iran. Recent Iranian sources say they rejected the White House's claim that there have been direct negotiations between Iran and the U.S. And yeah, more escalation, high oil, high yields, scary, fearful market. But again, gold is edging a little bit higher as easing U.S. bond selling reduced pressure after yesterday. But chips are the story today, I believe. NVIDIA did pull back from some of its levels here. Here's NVIDIA. It's at 220s right now. It was at almost 230s, a few days ago. But really, we're getting some tech sell-offs. And yeah, good morning, guys. Good morning. Let me say hello to everybody here. What's up, chat? What's up, Spacex, Ava, Zeke, Jared, Steve, Cho, Old Hack, Jarrett, Keith, Edson, Mega, Max. What's up, dude? Brian, Proxy, Nick, Faye. Hello, Peak, Dave Down Under, Explodus, Shake and Bake, Blue Lightning. I think I said Ace already. Todd, Ryan, Pav, Ty, Pew. What's up, dude? Ashun, Goose. Hello, my friend. Slumdog. What's up, dude? Darkage, Julio, Wolf, Crod, UE, Sam, Neon, Ran, Devo, Alex, Black Mamba, Christian, Jay Violent, hello, Nick, Punch, Surin, who else we got? Punch, I think I said Punch already. Yeah. Rambling, Exotic, CJ, Tally, Handyman, Glass Half Full, Jay, Learn. Good morning, guys. SC, Mufasa, Taps, Patrick, Robble, Woot, Empty Guest, Envy, Checkerboard, Falcos, Connor. Yeah, y'all do me a favor, hit the like button. We appreciate it. Yeah, Robo, go Tigers, yes sir. Hey, man, I don't know if I should get a Lucid Flex 50K or Take Profit 50K. They're both pretty tempting. Honestly, Take Profit's got their 50% off deal going on right now. So Chips is all green again in pre-market. They're slightly green, but they're down over the last few days. I mean, if we look at like the SOX index, the SOX index, they are down. They're kind of flat, but they sold off yesterday. It's a 1 hour chart, but I mean, chip sell-off continues here, so we're going back and forth with chips. A lot of volatility recently. Bitcoin keeps short squeezing. Yeah. Hey, what's up, One Seg? Good morning. Blessed to see another day. Yes, sir. Yeah, so the FOMC minutes report releases today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a recap of what we did in the last Fed meeting, a little bit more information on why we did what we did, and I think it'll be a little bit more relevant. Iraqi parliament speaker calls for special status for Iraqi oil exports via Hormuz in a meeting with Iran's Ghalibaf. So we do have that going on. Bitcoin US dollar down a little bit on the day, but still at 64s. It's not as bad as it could be, to be honest. Bitcoin has been selling off a little bit, but it's doing all right today. It's still down, but one of the things that we saw yesterday is maybe it wasn't Microsoft that I remember. I know Microsoft sold off at the opening bell. Software down a little bit today as well. ServiceNow, Adobe, after rebounding some yesterday. Hey Faye, what's up, Pawn? G-Man, what's up, dude? Bitcoin keeps squeezing. Corn is about to skyrocket. Yeah, I mean, look, we can take a look at some levels here. Yesterday we looked at some levels, and I think they held pretty well here. We'll see what we do today. But in levels today, guys, I think we have to look at, I'm going to look at a longer term chart. I mean, obviously, I think this 430 level is kind of staring at us. It's the low of the day, the low of the session in the NASDAQ. We have the isolated high up here right under 650. I'm watching like 650. I'm watching the high as well, but 650 seems like right around where that high was. We have 29,700, a level we watched yesterday. 725, also probably relevant. But yeah, this is a 15-minute chart, so we can zoom in a little bit. 625 maybe is a level also. I know we talked about 625 yesterday. We got this little isolated spot right here at about 520. We can look at that. The previous closing price is at about 560 on the NASDAQ. What's up, Brad? Yeah. Bitcoin, be careful until October, November. Yeah, a lot of people are waiting to see. The problem with Bitcoin is that if we do not start running up in October this year and fulfill the 4-year cycle, markets might be even more nervous regarding it, right? So, the 4-year cycle should restart the bull cycle if it follows it in October. And if we do not do that in October, then Bitcoin might be in trouble. So do we follow the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin, guys? What do you guys think? Taking the day off from coffee, having Gatorade. I'm drinking coffee today, bro. Again, the president tweeted yesterday, essentially, like we could look at the tweet yesterday. The president did tweet yesterday saying, man, I had so many ads, dude. So many ads. One. They gotta get this Truth Social UI working. This thing sucks. Nominations. Alright, so I gotta scroll about 5 minutes to find the tweet from yesterday. Where the president said, quote, "There are no talks or conversations going on or scheduled with Iran. The naval blockade remains in full force. In effect, the Hormuz Strait is open and operating. All mines have been removed. Thank you for attention to this matter." So he said that yesterday. And I don't know how the markets interpreted it. Realistically, I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. No. A Reuters poll found that 69% see Trump business influence. They found that 69% of Americans believe the president's private business interests influence his decisions in office. Separately, 63% said it was inappropriate for him and his family to profit from crypto ventures since his return to power. We had mortgage applications show up today, and a lot of the attention today in markets is on yields. You know, the 30-year bonds. You know, if we look at 30-year yields, they are at basically 20-year highs since 2007. Here's 30-year yields. This is the chart that everybody's kind of looking at. We are at 5.28% for 30-year yields. Now, what this has to do with, I think, yeah, you can see the last time we were really up here was way back here. But what this has to do with is, I think, partly because the Fed's not giving out forward guidance. The Fed's not giving out forward guidance, so longer-term yields are a little bit more worried about inflation with less forward guidance by Kevin Warsh. I think yields are concerned about it, and inflation's a big story, obviously, with high oil in the Middle East. Again, we can look at gold here. Gold is up to 44.20s, but it's acting a little bit resilient. The dollar index is down today, so maybe a little bit of comfort there in yields, but we'll see what happens. Again, Target earnings, Home Depot earnings, a lot of retail earnings today. And we also heard news that OpenAI's second quarter revenue grew 18% to $6.7 billion. That is up from $5.7 billion, but it's way slower than, you know, one of its big competitors right now in the IPO race, which is Anthropic. Anthropic's revenue more than doubled to $11.6 billion, allowing it to surpass OpenAI for the first time. And that makes sense when you think about it. Like, a lot of people are starting to look at Claude and Anthropic in terms of AI more than other things. But yeah, they're worried about OpenAI's profitability. Its operating loss widened apparently from 9.3 to 12.3 billion. So Anthropic moved into a small operating profit. So competition between OpenAI and Anthropic. We did have the Fed's Musalem will give an interview to CNBC today. In August, he said he favored a 25 basis point rate hike at the July meeting, citing inflation being well above the 2% target. He warned tolerating above target inflation in pursuit of productivity risks unanchored inflation expectations. He also stated earlier that gradual rate increases are preferable to later, more abrupt action. So again, we'll see what the Fed minutes has to say about that. But we do have Musalem, who is generally, I would say, hawkish. Speak on CNBC sometime later. So we'll see what that looks like as well. But yeah, we're looking at gold. We're looking at the NASDAQ. Here's the S&P 500 today. It is slightly in the green. It's at 77.17s. But all eyes are going to be on memory plays again today. MU, SanDisk, SK Hynix doing okay because they announced their buyback earlier. They're up to 160s. Spacex, if we look at it, is at 142s right now. So we do have some companies. And then TJ Maxx just reported earnings. I'll put those numbers up in chat. Those numbers just came out for TJ Maxx. There's the numbers right there. No crash yet. Pullbacks are coming. Yeah, I saw mRNA. Might be time to take a vacation. Come back in September. No crash, just hard pullbacks. Yeah, I mean, we have a pullback in memory. I'm going to call it a crash just based off of how much it's dropped. But Bitcoin weak. Yeah. Time to trade stocks with low beta. Yeah, you might be right. How far do you think Meta will fall until the court decision? I don't know, but it's been down a lot. Look at Meta. Meta absolutely falling here. Getting sued by parents and others. Down to 544s. Big pullback. I generally like Meta, but I think the court decision hangs over them. Looks like Burry was right. I don't know if Burry is right or wrong at this point in time. It's somewhere in the middle. One day everybody will be like, yo, Burry was right. And then another day when chips rebound, everybody's going to be like, Burry was wrong. And so, we can ask. I mean, some people get mad at me just for asking this. They don't want me to give Michael Burry any attention in markets. But was Burry correct in shorting memory and AI names? Let me know. Was Burry correct? Again, here's MU. I think he's actually green on his MU position now, but he's pretty much. But I think his entry price is like 940s on MU after he added to it. So I think he's slightly green, but not that green. No, yes, maybe so. So yes, no, maybe so. Yeah, Zuckerberg tends to spend a lot. He tends to spend a lot. He goes all in, which is fine, but you know, some of the sectors that he's gone all in over the last few years have not paid dividends well for Meta. Like the best example I can use in recent memory is the metaverse. He spent 10 billion on the metaverse a few years ago and basically lost 10 billion from it. Yeah, his timing was literally good. I mean, was literally on point, man. That his timing was very good for his shorts. The question is, did he hold too long? Did he double down too much with Burry? Burry works for stock market makers. He's green. That means he was. Yeah, I mean, he was definitely a little bit correct at this point in time. Again, he added to his positions, though. And so that is kind of the thing where that's the big question mark. If he would have not added to his positions, his averages would be really, really nice right now. You know, he shorted, what was it, MU at over 1,000. He shorted NVIDIA. NVIDIA he's down on. But he shorted MU at 1,000 plus. He shorted a bunch of things pretty high up there, right at the top. We do have the Jackson Hole Symposium next week. That's the big story. I believe we have NVIDIA earnings as well. GDP data, PCE, inflation data, and more. So we got a lot of stuff going on next week specifically. We did have news just now that NBIS announces a proposed private offering of $4.5 billion of convertible senior notes. So that news might affect NBIS here. Yeah, look at NBIS drop real quick on this news here. Offering news is bad generally. It's dilution. Oh, sorry, I realized you got me on the screen right now. Look at NBIS right now. NBIS is falling down as I speak here. Look, right here. There goes NBIS. Again, NBIS news that just released is they announced a proposed private offering of $4.5 billion of convertible senior notes. So selling dilution is what is negatively affecting it. I think he closed out when he was up big. I think he added size to it though, Solar, no? AMD is a $25 stock. I mean, I don't think anybody thinks that's true. $25, bro? I mean, $25. I mean, look at the margins on AMD. You know, now you're just saying things. Look, here's the EPS trends over the last like few quarters. I don't think it's a $25 stock for AMD. I mean, look, this is a macro trends chart. But look, here's AMD's margins. Here's their growth. Like, $25 is pushing it, bro. That's pushing it. Same as CoreWeave. Yeah, I mean, CoreWeave, look at the BIS fall, 230s. CoreWeave down as well. Yeah, it's like Burry saying Palantir is going to $1. Yeah, or like Lee saying Bitcoin's going to hit 250K in a month. Yeah, AMD drops down to $25, dude. I'm buying it. You know, I'm buying it. $25 AMD. Sign me up, bro. Sign me up. Hey, what's up, Megas? You don't have to answer every bad comment. I do, though, man. Listen, you know, it gives me content, sir. I sold AMT at like $32 a decade ago. That sucks, Joe. I'm sorry to hear. We'll see tech go to 2008 prices, bro. They go down to 2008 prices. I'm buying it as well. But yeah, NBIS offering news. It fell. You can see it dropping this morning. NVIDIA kind of fell with it a little bit here because they're holding some NBIS, I believe. What are they in, like 9% of NBIS for NVIDIA? I see a case for the NASDAQ 29,000 today or tomorrow if no big news. Bitcoin at 250K is a sell. He'll close his NBIS shorts. He made huge profit again. Math proves we have to test those lows. What lows? AMD lows? I don't know, dude. Yeah, so We kind of see why NBIS was weak yesterday. They were getting out before this. Look at NBIS fall. Again, NBIS offering news. They announced a proposed private offering of $4.5 billion. That is what's tanking NBIS right now. You can see NBIS fall. It's at 228. We have a China probe that targeted JD.com. They said no entity should assist in implementation of EU anti-subsidy probe. And the president's supposed to give a speech today at 2:30 with tech leaders. So the president is supposed to speak today with tech leaders at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That might move markets as well. I wonder which tech leaders, whether it's going to be Jensen, Elon, or whomever it is. We'll see if it moves markets. Yeah, Nebby is still falling down here. Apple going green on the day. Meta's still down a lot. Here's the NASDAQ. Catalyst is hopium. Malarkey. People from Pakistan crypto community watch your live more than you think. Hey, thank you, Megas. I appreciate you. Taco effect is fading. Yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll see what happens today. Honestly, every day we've been getting some type of news come out that's been moving oil and moving markets here. Again, oil is starting to jump up a little bit here as well. Almost $85 a barrel again for oil here. So oil is starting to move up. So the last hour and a half might be bullish. If he says good things, if the market interprets what he says as bullish, we don't know. 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's right after the FOMC minutes report, so maybe we'll stream that too. We'll stream the FOMC minutes and then the Trump speech. But so far, I mean, news is still a little light today. But yeah, Nebius with the offering news is really influencing things right now. Nebius pushing down. An offering, guys, just to put this into perspective, is dilution of the company. What does that mean? That means the company is adding more shares to the float. They're selling more shares. Usually they do this to get some funding. It can be a good thing long term if they expand. But selling shares adds more shares to the float. It dilutes the existing shares. And so investors don't like it. And that's why Nebius is down with this announcement that just dropped 6 minutes ago. Oil up to almost 85 a barrel now again. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. Yeah, mRNA, you can see mRNA, some type of good news for this. I saw it earlier. They had a cancer vaccine that they say succeeded in late stage. They said it could face landmark moment with promising cancer vaccine for Moderna. It showed positive initial results in its first ever late stage trial, apparently. And so Moderna is up huge. They've basically gone up like 40% right now on this news. Or no, I'm sorry, more than that, way more than that. I'm sorry. They're up like 80% on this news. 105.70s right now for mRNA. It's moving up. Yeah, they basically up 80% this morning. I mean, this is why, I usually don't mess with pharmaceutical companies. And the reason I don't is just because, number one, I don't understand the market as well as other sectors. So, I can understand tech, I can understand memory, I can understand AI. Biotech and pharmaceuticals are not my wheelhouse. So I usually don't mess with these, but Moderna is up huge today, up to almost 107s right now. Very large move on the upside. And you can see it run. I mean, that's the news. The problem with this, though, what we see sometimes with with biotech and pharmaceuticals is that good trial results, you get one bad trial, it can give back all of its gains plus some. And so I'm definitely not buying it right here. I just don't know the sector well enough. Is anybody buying it here? Let me know. But I'm not buying it here. It's just not my wheelhouse. It's not what I know and understand. And was it Warren Buffett that said you got to stick to what you know? He said something like that, probably somewhere along the lines. But Moderna is still moving up almost to 110s right now in pre-market. That's why they buy off the trials. Yeah, for sure. You got that right with pharma. Yeah, I'm just not really good with pharma. It's just not my wheelhouse, guys. What's up, Faye? What's up, Jay? Jay and Faye. Y'all should start a band, Jay and Faye. But how you doing, Faye, over there in Louisiana? Hopefully you're doing good over there, Jay, in Australia. What about Meta? Will they swing back? I don't know, man. That's depending on the lawsuit. Moderna just hit 110s right now in pre-market, though. And this is, again, Nebius is falling on dilution offering news. mRNA moving up on, good cancer trial news. Up to 110s right now. Yeah, an all-girl band. That's right. Hey, Faye and Jay. I'd buy a ticket. I'm buying that ticket. Yeah. Let me drink some coffee, dude. I got up at like 5 a.m. And, I get up at 5. I don't have to get up until like 5:30, 5:40. But I know every single time I get up like 20 or 30 minutes, it's better for me to just stay awake. Because if I go back to sleep and I go back to sleep for 30 minutes and then I wake up, I feel worse, right? Like I feel worse than if I would have just stayed up the entire time. But I don't have the discipline to do that. The bed is calling me and I'm like, I got 30 more minutes. I'm going to go close my eyes for 30 more minutes. I always end up feeling worse. But just bad discipline, John, Les bon temps roulé. Let the good times roll, sir. Everybody in Louisiana knows that quote, dude. Everybody in Louisiana knows. I might have butchered it, but I know it means to let the good times roll, sir. I've been to enough LSU tailgating events and enough Saints events to know that quote. Yeah, that 30-minute nap makes you sluggish for sure. But yeah, look at Moderna here. Moderna's up to almost highs of the day at 113s this morning. So Moderna continues to rise. NBIS rebounding a little bit after its offering news. It's down. Holding some NBIS. Looks like a bounce is coming. I don't know. It's dilution. 115s for Moderna. Wow. Look at this news. I mean, it's a big breaking news story. Cancer, positive trial results and cancer stuff. Markets are getting excited about it. We're up to 116s right now. We just broke highs, got up to 118s on Moderna. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, NBIS is the hot new name right now in stocks. It really is. You see a lot of big tech holding it, Nvidia holding some. They're in like 9%. Yeah, it's AI infrastructure company. It owns a bunch of other companies as well. Yeah. Again, data center demand reporting a 454% year-over-year revenue increase to $582 million in Q2 for NBIS. But man, look at Moderna here, 120s almost right now. So it is what is moving big in pre. I'm hyped for it. I mean, that's something I'll hype about. I'll get hyped about. It's still early though, just because it's still early just because I think, a lot of stuff can happen. It sounds really good and then, But man, look at this 122s right now for Moderna. It is flying higher here. 123s. This is a big move. Wow. Yeah, it is effectively up 100% right now. Right around 100%. Very close to 100%. Another dollar or two, it'll be 100% gains. It's 124s, man. Look at it. Wow. Again, if you're wondering why Moderna is up, again, apparently a personalized cancer vaccine from Moderna and Merck shows promise in the late stages. Merck should be moving as well here. Yeah, look at Merck. Very similar move. 145s from Merck. But Moderna really putting in the big moves. Yeah, now it's effectively over. It was over 100% gain here. So again, Moderna is now up 100% in pre-market after this news. It's in phase 3 late stage trials for a cancer vaccine. So that showed good trial results. Yeah, look at this run. Big. Does anybody want to buy Nebius right here? Nebius is down on offering news. I'm tempted to buy it. You know, it's around highs, but it's up so much, dude. I mean, it was at $62 12 months ago. It's at $250 right now. So it's not really my favorite play. It's at 230s, I mean, which is probably a little bit cheaper than it was. But again, it's just up so much. It's not really my style of investing or swing trading. 215 entry on Nebius. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I should have got into. I'm mad I didn't buy Moderna here as well. I'm not shorting it for sure. I mean, I'm definitely not shorting this. You have some Moderna, or you have some NBIS. Just a few shares. Hey, good luck, dude. Yeah, I mean, Nebius seems interesting. NASDAQ, on the other hand, is still falling down here. It's at 29,500. I mean, I think the obvious level to look at on the NQ is 29,500. Big whole dollar number. It probably has confirmed support or resistance. If we look back at a chart, yeah, we bounced a little bit at that level. Oops. We bounced a little bit here at 500. You can see the support bounce at 500. And I think it's just a big whole dollar number that is probably relevant of a watch. We bounced here. But 29,500 could be kind of a line in the sand here for the NASDAQ. I'm watching it here. We might trade this. Let's see. We made money yesterday, and we hung it up before we lost more, so that's good. I don't know whether I should buy this bounce or what. Too hyped, crowded trade on NBIS. Moderna had positive trial results, late stage trial results for a cancer drug or a cancer vaccine, and so now they are up huge amounts here. They're up 100% in pre-market today. More than that now. Wow, look, they're at 130s right now, so they are rising big here this morning. Look at them. Yeah, it's also it's Moderna and Merck Pharmaceuticals, but they're almost up to 131s today. Wow. Do me a favor, hit the like button, guys. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. See if we get any other news. Yesterday we had some Fed tweets and more moving markets. Today's a little bit quiet here, but look at Moderna up to 132s almost. There's 132s, just broke 132s up to 132.50 now. Whoa. NBIS is starting to bounce back. I might regret not buying some down there, but we'll see. Again, offering news for NBIS, dilution news. We'll see, but John, do the FOMC minutes report move markets? I don't know, man. I don't know. I could act like they do just to get all this attention on it, but like I don't freaking know, bro. What's going on in NBIS? NBIS announced a $4.5 billion offering, which is dilution of shares, right? Like offering means anytime you hear offering, it can be the IPO, the initial public offering, like the first time shares are available in markets, or it could be what's called a secondary offering. Either way, it's adding more shares to the float, and so the current investors, you know, means their shares are worth a little bit less, right? That's why markets generally negatively react to this. It's probably why NBIS sold off yesterday, is because NBIS, people knew they were going to do this, and insiders knew, executives knew, company knew a little bit, and so they sold shares ahead of the offering. But we're starting to rebound back up for NBIS. Yeah, with Wars now, it's on a post-it note. Yeah, for sure. Hey, post-it note or I send it back. No, for sure. It's in the late stages of the trial. Like I said, Sam, we could very easily reverse back. I've seen enough pharma plays where, positive trial results, everything looks promising, and then it's one bad trial, and then boom, they're right back down or worse. So this is why I usually do not mess with pharmaceutical companies. I just don't know the market well enough, to be honest. I just don't know the market. I don't understand the market well enough. It's not my wheelhouse, and I usually try to invest in stuff I somewhat know. And this is definitely not one of those sectors for me. Yeah, I mean, if we have their stance on what they're going to do with rates in the FOMC minutes report, and this is why it's going to be watched, we do get some, outlook from the FOMC minutes report. And this is heading into Wash and the Jackson Hole Symposium next week. We do have some outlook that we can pay attention to for this. But it's still kind of iffy, I would say. No? Where are you guys watching the stream from this morning? Hello, where are you guys watching from? Where are you located today? Stop what you're doing right now, lurkers. I'm talking to you and everybody else. Non-lurks and lurks alike. Where are you guys watching the stream from? I am in hot, humid Texas right now. Love from Texas. My bedroom. Okay, that's fair. Houston. Hey, Wisconsin, Hawaii, Toronto, North Carolina, Philly, Tehran, Asheville, North Carolina, Portugal, Northern Cali, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Austin, Yorkshire, Orlando, Baton Rouge. Hey, my guy. Go Tigers, sir. Go Tigers. Orlando, Canada, Thailand, Europe, Slidell. I like Slidell. Slidell's nice. Working in Gainesville, Florida today. The Lou. Is that Louisiana? The Lou? I don't hear it abbreviated that much like that, but hey, if it's Louisiana, you're cool. I don't know what you've done in your life, good or bad, but you're cool if you're from the Lou. I might use that. The couch, that's fair. Bosnia. What's up, dude? Earth? I don't believe that. Singapore. Hello, guys. Ireland. Manchester. Lexington. Japan. Scotland. Poland. Louisiana. Joe, I knew it. Oh, the Lou is St. Louis. Okay. You guys know me. I got to correlate everything with Louisiana. So I'm going to say everything's Louisiana. You say the Lou, I'm going to say Ziana. London. South Africa. Hey, what's up, dude? Boise, Idaho. Southwest Florida. Hey. Dagestan, bro. Send me to Dagestan for 2 to 3 years. I'll be MMA champ. How's Moderna doing? So Moderna actually pulled it back a little bit from this crazy momentum that we had earlier, man. Look at Moderna's momentum. NBIS goes higher from here, you think so? Salt Lake City. Hey, what's up, Christopher? North Carolina, come on and raise up. Take your shirt off. Spin it around your head. I don't know. How does it go? It's been so long since I heard that song. P.D. Pablo? Like a helicopter? I can't remember the exact words. I'm sorry. It's been so long. Core song of, my childhood. Not childhood, but, great song. Great song. Yeah, from home? Okay. All right, guys. So again, the Kospi index did drop big overnight here. Here's the MU. Here's SanDisk. Kospi dropped 6% overnight. SK Hynix is kind of propping markets up, though, after they announced the buyback here. So SK Hynix is up. We have memory names still down over the last few days and down in pre-market. MU down. SanDisk is slightly green on the day, but it's basically flat. And it pulled back a pretty sizable amount yesterday. NBIS news still scaring markets after an offering because a lot of big tech names are holding this. Moderna announced really good results for one of their cancer, trials, and they are up big from it. They're up to almost 130s. right now. They're up basically 100% in pre-market for Moderna. The NASDAQ overall is slightly red. I'm watching 29,500, but this chop is not really easy to capitalize on or make money from. Oh, what's a poll option, guys? Give me a poll option. Give me some poll options, guys. Feed them to me. You know, prove you're not a bot, and give me some poll options here. What's a good poll option right now? NBIS goes higher from here. Texas, Frank. Hey. Houston. A lot of people in Houston. What's up, guys? Will Nvidia break 250 with this week? Will we liquidate Burry this week? Shorting. Will there be a Taco Wednesday, Taco Thursday, or Taco Friday? Bear or bull on the NASDAQ? I mean, that's an easy pull. Oil. Yeah, oil is basically at $85 a barrel right now. But again, a lot of markets aren't really moving heavily today. Next week's going to be the big volatile week. I think this week might be a little slow. Will bonds crash markets? Does NBIS go higher? Hormuz announcement. Will the chips dump in the New York session? That's a good option, I guess. Do chips fall once the market opens? That's a good option. Do chips fall once the market opens? Yes or no? Yeah, so if you take a look at the Fed watch tool here, right? The Fed watch tool is sitting at 32%. It's actually a little bit lower than it was yesterday in terms of rate hike odds, though. We're at 32.5%, basically 33%. 68% likely that we're going to pause rates. I still think we're going to pause. I don't think there's a situation in which we raise rates next meeting. And I'm watching this Fed meeting for potential trades to get involved with, just because, you know, the last time markets overpriced in a hike. I don't think we're raising rates next meeting. I just don't. Again, I just don't think we're going to raise rates next meeting. I think inflation data is going to be a roadblock to that. The inflation data cooled some. PPI was lower than expected. CPI was lower than expected. And I just don't think we're going to raise. Not unless we get like deep geopolitical escalation. But even in that situation, I don't necessarily think raising rates will combat oil-driven inflation anyway. But I think with the Fed's lack of giving forward guidance, markets are really worried about inflation. And I think that has a lot to do with everything. But I still do not think we're going to raise rates next meeting. Maybe I'm wrong here. This is, again, it's up in the air. And maybe my bias because markets over-predicted hikes in the last FOMC decision. And we made some money doing it. And maybe that's my bias today with this. I don't know. I just don't think we raise rates. I think inflation data is going to be a roadblock. The only way we might is if more escalation in the Middle East, I think. And we get another CPI, we get a PCE report next week. We get another CPI report before this FOMC decision. I think if that data comes out all elevated, which I think is a lower chance because CPI was low, PPI was low. But if those two reports come in more elevated now, leading into that Fed decision, there's a chance. I still think we're pausing though. What do you guys think we do in the next Fed meeting? Pause or hike? Pause or hike in the next Fed meeting? I'm going with pause. Pause is the only thing that makes sense to me. NASDAQ just dropped. It's not really down though, any big amount here. I got a short-term chart up. NASDAQ is. All right, look at the NASDAQ fall and then jump up somewhat here. Let me make sure this isn't news driven. I don't think it is. Again, the big story, Moderna, NBIS dilution, Moderna cancer trial news, flying them up basically 100% this morning for Moderna. Merck is up a huge amount as well. What's Merck up percentage-wise? Merck is up. Definitely not 100% for Merck. They are up only about $10 a share, so they're up a little bit less than, they're up like 7% or whatever that is percentage-wise. I think it's around 7%, just off the top of my head looking at it. But look at the NASDAQ start to rebound here. Again, Moderna's still pushing up. Nvidia's still pushing up. Nebius Group still down from its offering news. Looking at this poll, 66% think chips fall at the opening bell. 34% think chips do not fall at the opening bell. All right, so pause, Omega hike. Pause for sure. Pause. Stagflation, I say pause. Who's Paul? They'll pause, but they should be hiking. John Bull or Bear, do you hit the like button? Definitely Bull. This Wall Street big money woke up drunk and wanted to fight. Warsh's tone at Jackson Hole will define the trend. A hawkish one will give us a headache. Yeah, I think most markets are priced again that Warsh is going to be hawkish next week. Most markets are kind of pricing that in, I think. I think yields are high. Long-term yields are especially high with no forward guidance and stuff, but I think markets are pricing in. I think they're pricing in some. Yeah, we have 3 dissenters for sure. Who the heck is Paul? It's definitely Paul. So far the markets are doing the Fed's job with rates going up due to economic pressure. Paul's because Warsh is too scared to raise before midterms. Yeah, I think that definitely has at least a little bit to do with it. A Chinese internet video is shocking people after it appears to show 3 soldiers flying with jetpacks. It was reportedly filmed off the eastern coast, though no official confirmation has been issued. Still, many viewers are convinced it's the real deal. Shit, bro. If they've got jetpacks flying around, dude, I mean, we need to get on the ball here, you know? Jetpacks? They're going to have superheroes coming out pretty soon, I think, you know? We need to get on the ball here. Here's the NASDAQ pull it back. Some not necessarily small candles relative to recent price action on the NASDAQ here. Look at the NASDAQ. Here's NVIDIA. MU, SanDisk. So MU, SanDisk all pulling back somewhat here. Double top and Nebius. Jetpacks? What? I mean, I know jetpacks are a thing now. You know. Yeah, some weird candles on the NASDAQ here. Look at it. Big up, big down. I'm watching 500 though. Honestly, this is untradeable right now though in markets. This is basically untradeable. A short kind of makes sense. We got a lot of levels above us that could hold as resistance. We have like 540s VWAP area. We got like 545, 200 exponential. We got the previous closing price above us. So I guess a short makes sense a little bit more to me. But I think we're very, very flat here over the last 2 hours in markets. Very, very flat. Here's the NASDAQ. Very, very sideways. Yeah, what was the jet? Rocket Man? What was the name of the movie with the guy and the blimp? It was like an early 90s movie. It had like the guy and the blimp and the jetpack and the bad guy. It was like a, you know, and the blonde girl. I can't remember what movie it was. It was some Disney movie, I think. That's the one I remember when I think of jetpacks. That or like, you know, Boba Fett. Moderna's now pulling back though here. Here's Moderna. So we're almost back down to 120s here. Yeah, the rocket's here. That's right. You guys know. I knew it was rocket something. I'll go back to being a lurker. I don't know, dude. I mean, is it real? I mean, it's based off of some real stuff, but I don't really know the lore of that. JH. I'm sorry. Nah, dude. Willy Wonka. Definitely Willy Wonka. Yeah, it was just funny news to hear this morning, to be honest. All right, guys. But yeah, 3M enters a 4.25 billion revolving credit facility. They're not really moving on this either, though. I gotta see this video, though, about the jetpacks here. All right. It's a recent video. I can't find it, so who knows? Might not be real. I don't know. All right, Nasdaq's starting to fight its way back up, though. Here's the NQ. Again, look at the previous closing price. If we do get over all of these big milestone levels, you know, we might have even more strength. But here's the VWAP at 540s. Here's the 200 exponential at 545s, and then there's 560 previous closing price level here. But so far we're in a range. You could short the top of the range here, but I don't know, man. I just don't like this. Massive short positions on semis. Well, yeah, I mean, Burry and more. Oil might be selling off. Oil's not selling off now. Oil's basically been flat since for the last 20 minutes. If you look at oil hasn't done much over the last 20. The range is pretty small on oil right now. Like, look, here's the range of the last 20 minutes here. It's basically been completely sideways. So, I think it's Nvidia starting to rebound back up. Nvidia over 220s again. We could look at memory names like MU and SanDisk. They're technically green on the day again, but they sold off a lot overnight. But yeah, we are going to watch just for some of these levels we drew on the NASDAQ here. Here's the NASDAQ. Squeeze and then flush. Yeah, here's the previous close. And so, again, I'm looking at the previous closing price today. Number one, on the NASDAQ, you can see many confirmations here. 1, 2, 3. Right at the previous close, exactly at the previous close. So there seems to be a wall of sellers sitting right here at the previous closing price on the NASDAQ. Right around 560. It's right around 560s. The VWAP is here, though, so we could come down and bounce and then continue up or do whatever we're going to do afterwards. But that level seems to be a line in the sand right now. Here, here, here. And this is very short term as well. But I think a lot of traders that are attacking the range right now on the NASDAQ see this spot. They see it. Yeah, I mean, it's been surprisingly quiet regarding tweets and stuff like that today. Again, Moderna is the big story. It's up over 100% after announcing the first ever phase 3 positive results for a cancer vaccine. They're at 120s now, but flying higher, got over 130s for a little while today. Nebius Group again announced an offering earlier. They are still down at 230s from that. But this is the big story. This Moderna this morning. Crazy big move, honestly. With the oil being in the forefront, how will oil inventories? They might move things. I don't know. Don't ask me, Pew. I have no idea. Maybe this weekend back to full conflict. Maybe. NASDAQ is starting to look a little bit stronger here, though. I mean, it's getting to the top of the range. Again, it could bounce at the VWAP, like I said, and then continue up here, which it kind of looks like it's doing. But it's kind of untradeable right now, no? Yeah, I mean, maybe. We did a poll earlier. We said, do chips fall once the market opens? 66% say yes, 34% say no. And again, time will tell. Nebius Group all the way down to 230s right now. I just sold the 550, time for a rip. Honestly, I don't know what to do here unless you're going to attack this range. Again, here's the range right now. I mean, you can look at this little guy up here too, at about 575s. But again, Target executives say digital traffic source from external AI platforms remains small, but it's growing 3.5x the industry rate year over year, with partnerships with OpenAI, Gemini, and others aimed at positioning Target for emerging agentic commerce demand. So Target getting into AI here is what they're saying. Let's see if Target starts to rebound. I am in Target. My average price in Target is like 80 something, I believe. It's like 86. The Target, getting into AI, it did react negatively to the earnings. I think it missed revenue by a small amount. No, it beat EPS in revenue. And now again, executives say digital traffic source from external AI platforms remains small, but is growing 3.5x the industry rate year over year, with partnerships with OpenAI, Gemini, and others aimed at positioning Target for emerging agentic commerce demand. Now we'll see if we keep falling here, but who else is buying Nike with you at 40s? I don't even want to talk about Nike. You know, Nike ran up yesterday, though. I'm just putting it out there. But yeah, Nike did go up yesterday. We'll see if it holds. But Nike's one to watch. I think it's cheaped out here, but who freaking knows, man? Again, Moderna all the way back down under 120s as of now. So it has fallen all the way down under 120s here. And remember, guys, listen, Take Profit Trader does have their 50% off sale still going on. 50%. And so they also reduced the 5 days to 3 day pass. Uncapped payouts once funded and over the daily buffer. And so again, it might be time to buy Take Profit, because Take Profit is 50% down. You can use my code BGT if you want to help support the channel. We appreciate it. You can use it at checkout. They are an affiliate of mine, of course, but genuinely useful for traders. Check them out. There's the link. 50% no activation fee. 50% off no activation fee if you use my code BGT. Check them out. I mean, my best performing entries here, and I'm green on the portfolio. I mean, it's hard not to. Apple, I'm in at 250s. It's at 310s. Coca-Cola, I'm in at 66. It's at 89 basically right now. Microsoft, I'm in at 380s. It's at 480s. Netflix, I'm in at 66. It's at basically $80 a share. Nike, I'm in at 50. It's at 40, so I'm down 20% on Nike. Nvidia, I got in at like 190s. It's at 220s. I'm still down in Oracle. I got an Oracle at 166. It's at 140 basically. So I'm down in that one. PayPal, I got in at 44. It's at 61 or so. Target, I'm in at 86s. It's at 152s. So I'm up 75% in Target, 36% in PayPal, 34% in Coca-Cola, 20% in Apple. Hey, what's up, Alexis? I remember buying Apple at $8. John, are there any gain flex on your Discord? What? Gain flex? Can somebody decipher that for me? Is there any gain flex on your Discord? What's gain flex, guys? I mean, it sounds good. I don't think I have it. Whatever gain flex is, but am I old? Gain flex. Yeah, hey, thank you, Nicholas. Posting huge P&L. I'm dumb. I should have known that. Jim Cramer says, quote, I smashed a box of Fig Newtons to get people out of Figma. It worked. He doesn't like Figma, maybe? Maybe he does like Figma. Alright, so we're going to look at memory today. Memory's starting to bounce back. It's at 940s here. Now, this is right around where Michael Burry entered this position. Like, right around where he entered. Morning, John. Got the London pump, so more or less done for the day. Yeah, I know what he meant now. Yeah, just P&L posting. I got you. Yeah, I mean, we're in here. Well, let's see what happens. But MU starting to rebound back up. I guess I'll trade. I don't want to get tempted to trade too much here. Again, I'm watching the NASDAQ. NASDAQ right at the previous closing price. I don't know if I like a long or short here. I mean, a short looks better than a long, I think. But if we get over the previous closing price here at this light blue line on the chart, then it might actually run up more. And so I don't really want to get stuck in that. Time will tell, though. But the market is incredibly sideways on this Wednesday. We do have the Fed minutes reports today at 2 a.m. We'll see if that gives any type of outlook in regards to Fed activity at the future. Again, the 30-year Treasury yield hit 5.3%. It's the first time since 2007. Yields are scaring people because Warsh doesn't give much forward guidance. Inflation is scaring people more than I would say normal. Time to short. Long or short today, guys? Long or short? Did I say 2 a.m.? 2 p.m. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean it. 2 p.m., guys. In the afternoon, not in the morning. I'm not getting up at 2 a.m. to cover the Fed minutes report. Yeah, I'm streaming it. Bullish, long. There's a crypto summit in the White House today. Is it Trump meeting with tech leaders today at 2:30, right after the Fed minutes report? Yeah, is that, yeah, so did he already do it? I don't think he did. So Brian Armstrong. So yeah, this is tech related. He'll host an event with tech leaders tomorrow to strengthen America's innovative and technological dominance, according to a White House official. Yeah, so this is all about the Clarity Act. They're trying to get the Clarity Act done. If it remains stuck, crypto firms will be even more reliant on the SEC, CFTC. So Bitcoin, time for bouncing needs to meeting. Yeah, all right, so the NASDAQ has gotten over this big line of indicators and levels here. 560, 540s, 200 exponential at 547s. We're now over all of that here. The problem is that we're at the top of the range as well. But I guess I would rather more volatility or more movement at the very least here. Again, Moderna's pulling all the way back here. So if you look at Moderna, they're at the volume weighted average price. Honestly, it doesn't look like a terrible buy here. I mean, it's up a crazy amount. And MU and SanDisk are starting to bounce back. So like MU, SanDisk starting to rebound back up. Hey, what's up, Jason? Are you sure Michael Burry isn't playing all of us? I mean, he might be playing somebody. I don't know. He could be, for all I know. All right. NASDAQ finally going a little green on the day, a little bit. Double top of the NASDAQ. Moderna. Yeah. Do you think that this positive phase 3 trials have a large impact on price, and can it remain that? Do I think that the trial results is having a positive impact on price for Moderna? I mean, yes. Obviously, it's up, it was up 100%. Now, again, am I going to invest in this? No. It's pharmaceuticals. I don't really buy that. I'm not doing that. I don't know enough about it. I can't really track it well. I can't follow the news well on it. It's just not my sector to watch. I just don't understand it that much. And you got to stick with what you know. And I definitely do not know pharmaceuticals. But I mean, obviously, it's having a positive impact on price. I mean, it's up a huge amount in pre-market on this news. So, yeah, it's definitely bumping price up at least a little bit. Whether it holds is a different story. But yeah. Oil down, gold up. Yeah, oil just fell here. Iranian head of the National Security and Foreign Policy Commission says Iranian nation will never forget France's constant betrayals on issues such as... yeah, on issues. I don't think that's moving markets, so oil is down a little bit, though. Oil is now technically red on the day. Yeah, see, here's the bounce on Moderna. Oil is slightly red on the day now, which is good, I guess, but it's still at $84, $85 a barrel. I don't really see any other news. It's a slower day, I think, for news releases. Walmart doesn't release today. Walmart releases, I believe, tomorrow. So I think Walmart releases tomorrow morning. Walmart and Alibaba, John Deere, Advanced Auto Parts, and some other stuff released tomorrow. But Walmart's tomorrow. We had Target today. Target announced today they're getting more involved with AI. They originally reacted negatively in their earnings report, but then a Target exec said digital traffic source from external AI platforms remains small, but is growing 3.5x the industry rate year over year. They have partnerships with OpenAI, Gemini, and other AI names. We didn't see a big run in Target, though. I mean, it's back up to 150s. It's virtually flat overnight. But it's not down, which is better. Here's Moderna here, guys. Almost back up to 120s. We did bounce at the VWAP. Sold oil. Good luck, dude. Oh, news coming by open. Oil is selling off. I mean, maybe. It's not really selling off that much. It's technically red on the day, which is a win. But, we are dipping a little bit, but we're virtually flat on the day. It is starting to fall, though. So you look at oil. Oil is starting to dip a little bit faster here. So oil might be falling more. We'll see. We'll see if we get some type of news come out, and this is front loading. That's what I think we have to pay attention to. 84.30s right now, 84.30s. I don't know much about this stock, Standard Nuclear, STD, and it's nuclear. Maybe nuclear does well with everything going on, but I just don't know much about this company. Low liquid, recent IPO, hasn't really done too much. Kind of rebounded back up from its IPO, but I just don't know much about it, brother. Patrick, sorry, dude. No, Walmart's tomorrow morning, Jason. Walmart and Alibaba release tomorrow. So, alright, guys. NASDAQ is still starting to rise. I love you. Have a good day. NASDAQ is starting to rise back up here. Look. So, NASDAQ is technically green on the day. Let's see if it actually holds up here. But the NASDAQ is technically green on the day. And now it's pulling back pretty fast. Back now. Now it's technically red on the day. Hey, dude, I love you. Have a good day, dude. Alright, so there's a wiggle in the NASDAQ. And now it's back up. So now it's back green on the day. So we're kind of chopping back and forth from red to green in the NQ here. Having a hard time going anywhere, but we are starting to wiggle a little bit more, like, faster. But I don't see any news coming out. The only thing I see is Iranian head of national security and foreign policy says the Iranian nation will never forget France's constant betrayals on some things. Where's NBIS? Where's Nebius? Again, Nebius announced an offering earlier. All right, here's the NASDAQ trying to get back up there still. Here's Nebius. Nebius announced an offering. That's why they dropped right here. Dilution. They're about 50% back up from where they were. But I think really a lot of odds are on Moderna this morning. Up basically 100%. Broadcom falling. I don't see any news really. I don't see much. So it's still kind of quiet here regarding news. Not a lot going on, it seems. It either continues to hug the VWAP. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the Fed minutes report is even going to do anything. Like, listen, guys, I know a lot of people might sell the Fed minutes report today like it's some huge market-moving event. It's generally not. Like, I'm streaming it, don't get me wrong. But, like, you might have people sell it to you as, like, some big market-moving event that they prepare for it. It's usually not that big of a move from Fed minutes. We'll cover it. We'll digest it. Memory names are starting to rebound back up. Here's MU. It's up to 950s. Marvell entered an agreement with Google for custom semiconductor projects. Yeah, look at Marvell. So this is probably what's helping things. Marvell up to 226. Again, they entered an agreement with Google for custom semiconductor products. They issued Google warrant to purchase 58.971 million shares at 206.5 a share. And so again, Marvell Tech and Google deal. Custom semiconductor products issues Google warrant to purchase up to 58.971 million shares at $206 a share. Marvell now up to 227s on this news. MU's running up on this news. Chip names are rebounding a little bit on this news. This might help markets actually start to trend some today. Yeah, look at Marvell up to 228s on this. Yeah, Jackson Hole's important. So maybe the Marvell news is what's moving things. Again, they issued to Google warrant up to 58.97 million shares set at 206.58 share exercise price. Yeah, what this means is that Google can buy Marvell shares for 206.5 a share. And Marvell is going up to 230s right now on this news. Why is AVGO down? Yeah, that's why. Yeah, look at Marvell. Still moving up 235s this morning. AVGO just cracked lows. So yeah, Marvell down, AVGO, or our AVGO down, Marvell up right now. See if it holds down here, but 236s now. AVGO down to 268s. Stocks are rebounding. Yeah, some are rebounding, some aren't. The Nasdaq's slowly fighting its way back up. Google hasn't really reacted to this news, but yeah, we'll see what the Jackson Hole Symposium does today. Again, we did not have any 8:30 today. 8:30 is pretty light on the calendar. We got the Fed minutes report later, though. Again, NBA 30-year mortgage rates showed up basically the same as what they were last time, 6.77% 30-year. But Marvell is reacting well. Again, they entered an agreement with Google. They issue Google warrant to purchase up to 58.971 million shares at 206.58 a share. And again, they're at 235s now. Moderna is still chopping sideways here. Nvidia is actually a little down from this news also. So you can see Nvidia start to turn here, but memory names are up. SanDisk, MU. Apple's bouncing a little bit here, but very kind of choppy back and forth day. Here's the Nasdaq, right around the previous closing price, starting to give it back some here. We'll see if the 200 exponential in the VWAP area hold it. I might buy a dip here at the VWAP. I don't know yet. Here's the 200 exponential. Maybe. I don't know. This is kind of a fast drop. All right, so here's a little pullback in the Nasdaq here. We'll try to buy a little small dip here. It's very small. At the 200 exponential. All right. Red day, bro. It's gonna be different. Snap. It won't let another 1.5 to 2% down day. I mean, we're up in this, but it's just such a small trade. I didn't really take a lot of sides here. I'll add a little bit more. We'll take 6 contracts, see if we get some type of movement here. There we go. All right, take that off. 200 exponential for the win here. We'll take that off again. Yes, sir. And then we'll cut it up there. I don't trust it after that. We got to bounce right at the 200 exponential though, so that's nice. Yeah, SK Hynix announced a buyback this morning. They are up from that buyback announcement. SK Hynix at 161s. And so they announced that early today. But look at the NASDAQ bounce here right at the 200 exponential. I'm trying to see what this is. Marvell still moving up. MU and SanDisk still moving up. But look at the NASDAQ here. Nice little bounce right where we bought it, which is good. Oil falling down simultaneously though. Let me make sure no news happened over. Okay, so I do see Treasury increasing size of liquidity support buyback operations for longer dated nominal coupon securities. It seems like something's happening though in the NASDAQ here. Oil's falling simultaneously. Look, it's at 602s. NASDAQ just jumped up to 29,600s here. Look at the move here. Look at oil as well. Oil falling down simultaneously here. So yeah, basically, again, the Treasury announced they're gonna auction more long-dated bonds. I don't know. I would think this would negatively impact markets, no? Regarding the Treasury. Look at the NASDAQ jump here. MU. They said the change is effective September 9th. And NASDAQ just popped. Oil dipping down some here. I don't know what this is. Everybody's tuning in here to try to figure out what's going on. What's up, chat? We got 1,100 people here now, almost 1,200. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this is. I don't see much. Again, I see Treasury increasing size of liquidity support buyback operations for longer dated nominal coupon securities. Yeah, so again, the Treasury's buying back more long-dated bonds. It could be helping it. It could be helping lower yields here. Let me see if yields are falling down on this. But what's weird is that oil was falling simultaneously. This should drop yields. Yeah, it did drop yields a little bit when they announced this. I mean, that might be benefiting the market regarding the yields here. Yeah, so they're going to buy back more long-dated bonds by buying them. I mean, a byproduct of this is that yield should fall, but look at oil, guys. Oil still falling down to $84 a barrel right now. Oil's still dipping. Yeah, what's up, chat? Yeah, TLT is going to be running after that Treasury buyback, or that Treasury announcement here. So, like, what it'll do is it'll make bond prices increase and yields. A side effect of this is going to be yields decrease, right? So again, like, essentially, you know, markets are fearful. 30-year yields at 5.31%, 19-year highs. The Treasury buying bonds reduces supply. It brings bond prices up. and should help yields come down slightly. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. Long dated bonds are dumping or ripping up here, and that means yields are going to be falling down. It's a positive it's a positive story. So again, this is, I think, what's moving things. Yeah, it's a modestly bullish bond market intervention. But look at oil. Oil's down to under 84s. Look at oil here. Oil's dumping down. Again, this is the news that's partly doing it right now. Just to show you guys. So this is the news that's partly doing it. I mean, this should bring yields down and benefit gold. I haven't looked at gold yet, but I'm assuming gold is up on this news, no? Yes, gold is flying higher here on this news. Again, the news is essentially hold on. Yeah, I'm looking at gold, man. Gold ripping up. NASDAQ really likes this news as well. Look at gold fly here. Again, but this is the news right here, chat. Yeah, so the Treasury, again, they announced that they'll buy back more long-dated bonds. It means they add a new buyer to the long bond market. New buyer means more demand. More demand equals bond prices go up, and yields, as a side effect, are going to go down from this. Gold is really sensitive to yields as well. Lower yields is better for gold, because when yields are high, more people buy bonds, less people buy risk-on assets like gold. And so, what's interesting, though, is look at oil here, chat. Oil is dumping down. Oil is down to 83.50s a barrel here. Again, they said a current maximum size of $2 billion per operation will be at least $4 billion operation. Again, increased size of nominal and yields. When they buy it up, right? They're essentially raising the price. Like, look, here's TLT, which is long-term bond prices, right? And bond prices and bond yields inverse each other, meaning like if new bonds are issued. And the new bonds are paying out a higher yield, right? You got to lower the price of the previous bonds to make people want to buy them, because they're always going to go for the higher yielding bond if the prices are the same. And so to compensate for it, they lower the price of the existing bonds. And so there's an inverse relationship. As bond prices go up, you know, yields consequently go down in the same way. And so they're not doing this, I don't think, intentionally to, you know, bring yields down, but a side effect of it is definitely gonna, you know, the side effect of it is gonna make yields fall. So oil is dumping down to 83.40s though. Yeah. Bitcoin approaching resistance levels. Yeah, Bitcoin should be reacting very well to this, no? Yeah, Bitcoin's flying up on this news as well. Bitcoin, gold, they're all making big moves here on this news, which makes sense. I mean, lower yields is a win. In a market that fears high yields with long-term bonds at, you know, 20-year highs, basically, yields have scared the market. And this might be what the market needed here to, you know, to help ease some of the yield and inflation concerns right now. That's not why Bitcoin is pumping. Yeah, again, global yields drop, particularly the long end. US dollar weakens as equities bid after US Treasury says it will double the size of liquidity support buyback operations for long-dated bonds. So here's a market update right here. I'll put this up on screen. But markets like this right now. NASDAQ got some volatility here from this. But yeah, the Treasury doubled the size of liquidity support buyback operations. The consequence is yields are going to fall. Bond prices are going to go up. If you look at TLT, which is bond prices, it's ripping up. If you look at the dollar's down. Oil's falling. And so getting some type of movement here. We also have chips rebounding back up. But yeah. Yeah. QE, you know. I see some people in the chat saying the same thing. I mean, but honestly, again, Bitcoin wants easy. Gold wants easy. You know, they want stimulation. They want lower yields. When yields are high, everybody's buying bonds. They're not buying gold. They're not buying Bitcoin. They're buying bonds. Bonds are paying 6% right now. I mean, shit. 6%, dude. And so less people are going to buy non-yielding assets like gold and risk-on assets like equities and Bitcoin and crypto and all that other stuff, right? So yields going down is scaring a lot of people in terms of inflation, in terms of the Fed rate hike worries, in terms of all that stuff. And so the Treasury doing this, again, the consequence, it's kind of a secondary effect of it. They're not going to say that's why they're doing it. They're going to say this is not why we're doing it, but yields are going to go down from it. But an effect of this is, again, yields fall right now in a market that fears high yields. Gold loves this, obviously. Gold being a non-yielding asset, loves it. The dollar hates it. Here's the dollar index, I should say, compares the dollar to a basket of other assets. Here's the dollar. The dollar is dumping down on this. You know, the issue, though, the real issue is will this be inflationary? Yeah. So that is the true issue here. Is will this be inflationary? And here's the dollar continuing to drop. Yeah, oil. I mean, oil's starting to fight back higher here, though. Look at oil. Again, if you're just now tuning in, global yields have fallen, bond prices have risen, dollar weakens, gold is ripped up, Bitcoin is ripped up. The Treasury says it will double the size of liquidity support buyback. Yeah, so look at oil, though. Oil's still popping higher here. And according to Goldman Sachs, AI is now costing the United States 16,000 jobs a month. They research estimates that AI has reduced U.S. payroll growth by roughly 16K jobs per month over the past year, while also raising unemployment by 0.1%. It's a net estimate, though. AI substitution eliminated roughly 25,000 jobs, according to them, monthly, while AI-driven augmentation offset about 9,000, though increased demand for workers. The impact is falling disproportionately on younger and entry-level workers, particularly in roles such as data entry, customer service, billing, and admin, where Goldman cautions that the current shock remains relatively narrow, with AI as creating jobs also through productivity gains in the massive build-out of data centers and related infrastructure. But look at yields. Give me a 10-year yield. Give me a 30-year yield is probably what we should be looking at here. Yeah, so look at 30-year yields in the movement here. And so this is what I mean. Like, look, bond prices increase, yields decrease. It's the consequence of what the Treasury is doing right now. I'm still trying to look at oil to see what's going on in oil here, but again, global yields drop, dollar weakens, gold rips, Bitcoin rips. Treasury says it will double the size of liquidity support buyback operations for long-dated bonds. But yeah, let's see if we continue here. Yeah, so again, they give the market a boost. Again, the Treasury just gave the market a boost. It says it will double the size of its buyback operations. And again, in simple terms, the government is planning to buy more longer-term Treasury bonds from the market. Buying creates more demand, pushes bond prices up, pushes yields down consequently. And yields down is a win right now in markets. This is a win. This is a W in markets right now. Markets want this. They want lower yields. They fear inflation. They fear high oil prices. And so, again, this is boosting markets right now. NASDAQ up to 29,700s on this news here. 29,700s. We're hitting some of the levels we talked about yesterday. The question is, does this strength continue into the opening bell here? And I don't know. I don't know if this I don't know if this strength continues, so to speak. Does this strength continue into the opening bell, chat? Let me know. I have no idea. Nebius offering news, dilution news earlier negatively impacted it. Honestly, Moderna is up 100% right now. I should have bought it at the VWAP, dude. I was telling you guys, like, this VWAP looks pretty nice. Anytime we have such a good trend and such good volume, I love a pullback to the volume weighted average price here. And again, markets did too. They bounced. I should have bought it. It's just not my style. Pharmaceuticals are not my wheelhouse. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about in pharmaceuticals. And I'm not afraid to admit that. That's a very nuanced game that I am not well versed in. But damn, what a good VWAP bounce here. It's hard to buy something that's up freaking 100% as well, though. But still, momentum is key here. Oil's starting to dip. It's under $84 a barrel. Yes, after a pullback. Let me put this thing in sub-only mode. We got about 1,300 people here right now. Oh, we are in sub-only mode. Okay, good. Will this cause inflation regarding the Treasury double buyback? Man, look at the NASDAQ, though, guys. The NASDAQ loves this news. 29,740s right now with the NASDAQ. Hey, it looks like we're pushing towards 30K. We'll see if we hit 30K. Obviously, 30K is a big level here. You know, obviously, this seems pretty good, but shoulders are sad. Are you bullish or bearish now heading into the open, guys? Let me know. Are you bullish or bearish heading into the open? Bullish. This is very bad. Rampaging bull, yes. Feel like this is going to reverse. Bullish. Yeah, I mean, the NASDAQ obviously reacting well. If we can get a reasonable pullback, I'll buy it. A reasonable pullback. Bro, we are going parabolic. I know John likes the comment section. Hey, Scotty 1 pumped in pre-market, dump it open. Does Scotty know? Don't tell Scotty. 9 a.m. scrum is here. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We got 8 minutes. If I can get a reasonable pullback, I might buy it. I'm a little bit worried about a reversal. This is a big move up here in markets today, so I'm a little bit more concerned about a reversal. But hey, again, this is definitely boosting sentiment right now. This Treasury buyback news. Again, markets are pricing in optimism after the Treasury doubles the size of its long-dated bond purchases, meaning more liquidity, higher bond prices, lower yields, especially in long-term bonds. Again, you can see long-term bond yields fall on this news. Dollar is down, gold is up, Bitcoin is up on this. So they are loving life right now on some of this news here. I'm still watching 4,500s on gold. I think $4,500 is a very relevant spot here. So $4,500 is a very relevant spot. Looks like a pump and dump. It could be. Oil's still falling though. Look at oil. So oil's still down on this news. Still technically red on the day. What just happened in the market? Gold pumped like crazy. Dollar fell by 0.5%. Yeah, so essentially what's going on right now is that the Treasury just gave the markets a boost, essentially. They doubled the size of their buyback operation for long-term bonds. This raises bond prices, reduces bond yields, makes people less worried about inflation to some extent. That's probably why oil's going down. But again, TLT and other long-term bonds, they benefit when long-term yields decline, and so this is basically making yields go down. That is why this is so beneficial. Again, long-term 30-year bonds are at 20-year highs as of yesterday. And so when yields are that high, there's a lot of inflation concerns, a lot of worry. And so anything that's rate sensitive is going to react to this. Gold, incredibly rate sensitive. When yields are up, less people buy gold, they buy bonds because the yields are paying out more. When yields are down, more people buy gold because yields are less attractive in bonds. And so because of that, again, Bitcoin moves in a very similar way, where especially right now, it's not always like this. It can certainly change. But look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin reacted very well to this news. Again, this news came out. This news came out. When did this come out? This came out. Let me look at the first time this was posted. This news really came out, 17 minutes ago? Right around here. So it correlates to the exact time this came out. Here. So Bitcoin, boom, up on it. Gold reacted in a very similar way. Again, when yields are down, more people buy risk-on assets like gold and Bitcoin and equities. And so you can see gold shoot up. Gold's still breaking highs, getting really close to that $4,500 level for gold. So gold's getting very close to $4,500. What news broke? Again, the news that the Treasury is going to double the size of their long-dated bond purchases. They double in the size of their bond buybacks. Meaning, injecting liquidity, bond prices go up, consequences, yields go down, markets celebrate when yields go down. That's why gold, Bitcoin, equities going up. That's why the dollar's going down. One of the reasons is just because, to buy bonds, you use the US dollar. And when bonds are less attractive because yields are falling, because prices are going up, the dollar loses some strength. But gold, Bitcoin, risk-on assets doing well, bond prices flying higher, yields are going down. This is a win for most markets right now. And gold is just up to that 4,500 right now. This is kind of what the market needed again. Are you guys red or green today? Red or green today, guys? What do you guys think? Are you up or down in markets right now? Also, if you're just now tuning in, again, make sure you check out Take Profit Trader. Now does 50% off for, I think it's like lasting a week. 50% off on Take Profit. Again, they give you a demo. They test your skill with it. You pass the test. They fund you with a 90% profit split. Meaning after you get funded, if you make 10K, as long as you're following the rules, you keep 9K. Again, uncapped payouts once you're over the daily buffer. They reduced the data pass from 5 to 3. And 50% off right now for at least another week on Take Profit. You can use code BGT at checkout. It's a great way to help support the channel. We cover a lot of this breaking news. I see a lot of you guys tune in for the breaking news. Look at gold just hit 4,500s. But again, if you want to help support your boy here on the channel, you can check them out. Here is the link for Take Profit. A great way to help support the channel. You can also use the code on Apex. Apex has 90% off right now. I think this is ending somewhat soon. But 90% off on Apex. Lucid's great as well. You can check out some of them. But yeah, the dollar is going to continue to fall here. Gold just tapped 4,500s. I don't know if it's going to continue to fall. Let me clarify. But it has been continuing to fall so far. $99 dollar. $99 index. Again, Treasury increasing size of liquidity support buyback operations for long-term bonds. You can see TLT, long-term bond prices, flying. You can see yields. What is yields in TOS? I think it's TNX. This is 10-year yields, but we can look at it anyway. Yeah, yields are down. You can see yields fall. We can look at like long-term yields. Here's 30-year yields. Right, like look at 30-year yields here. Look at that drop in 30-year yields. Yeah. But yeah, markets like this for sure. We'll see if we get some bullishness for the opening bell. Here's 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is basically here right now, though. So, let's see what 9 a.m. brings. But 9 a.m. is here. NASDAQ still looks very strong. Again, levels that I'm looking at on the NASDAQ. I told you guys this earlier. Like, we trade a lot of confirmations, isolated levels, whole dollar levels, and more on the NASDAQ. So we are looking at, I mean, look at this level we drew earlier, 725s. This level was a level that we played a lot yesterday, 725s right here. It seems to be acting as some support. We're watching it. 700 underneath this seems to be relevant here. I mean, there's more volatility today, so these levels are closer together. But we're looking at 650 as well, you know. But again, I think a couple levels staring at us. 30,000. I mean, obviously, if we get a lot of strength, we can look at 30. But we'll see if that 29,725 level continues to hold as support this morning. But it's propping us up right now. It's not very large of a pullback, though. So I don't know if there's a lot of meat on the move in buying that. There might be more risk to the downside here. But you know, I am going to be watching those levels as we approach the open. There's 9 o'clock. 9 a.m. scrum is moving markets down a little bit. Punch, stop being political, dude, or I'll ban you, bro. Just a heads up. I don't want politics here, brother. I'm neutral. No reason to argue about it. I appreciate you being here and everything, but just don't, you know, don't push politics, divisiveness, sir. All right, look at the NASDAQ start to fall here. So the NASDAQ is starting to dip down some again. I don't see any news to really push this like this, but NASDAQ with a big pullback here, 29,706s, 29,705s. Let's watch 29,700. I don't hate a buyback here. I'm just worried there's news, to be honest, but I might buy this. It's a relatively decent pullback here at 29,700. Much needed intervention by the Fed given the yields prior. Yeah, I mean, yields at 20-year highs for long-term bonds is why they, you know, that freaked markets out. We're starting to dip pretty quickly here, though. Let's see if we hold. I mean, a lot of green in markets right now. This is, you know, making people much more optimistic here. Looks like investors see right through the news. I don't know. I just got in long here. Can y'all see this? I think y'all can, huh? Yeah, we're up about 120. I want to see if this holds. I'll slowly take some off here, though. We got to bounce right at 700 like we wanted. Again, big psychological level. I could hold the rest of this mostly flat, though, if we start to turn the other way. But I do want to give this a chance to bounce. I think 700 made sense. So we'll see if we hold, but we did get an initial bounce right at 700. We have pushed up a lot though, you know, like that's the only question mark here. I'll use a risk level down here. 680s. We'll give it a little bit more time. Oil's starting to pop here though. Yeah, we might get stopped on the rest. We already took half off, so we're just gonna let that, you know, work to our stop if it can. Oh, we bounced right off my stop loss level here. I'm gonna get rid of the stop and then sell it just so I don't get down wicked by 1 point or something like that. There we go. Bullish or bearish now, guys? Let me know in chat right now. Are you bullish or bearish here today? Let me know. Are you bull or bear in markets right now, guys? Is it time to buy the dip, which is what I just did? We already took some profit off of this thing, though, but... I want to give it a second here. I got to watch it closely, though. Bear, bull trap. I think markets might be a little split on whether we're bullish or bearish here, to be honest. But I'm going to give it a second. Technically should be bearish. Still bear. That was just a squeeze. I don't know. It brings yields down, and I think yields scare markets. This is a futures account, guys. So this is me trading futures. If you're wondering how I'm trading right now, I'm trading futures. I'm trading the NASDAQ 100 futures contract. Yeah, so this is the NQ. I think the president has a speech today with crypto leaders. All right, so we're gonna get close to selling it. We'll probably be about break even now. We made a bunch yesterday, but I'm gonna let it test. I don't want to get bottom wicked out here. So I'll probably let it go to 75s. There we go. I'm trading on a prop firm. Again, prop firms, they give you a demo. This is a funded account in prop firms. They give you a demo, test your skill with it. You pass the test, they fund you. You fail, you lose what you pay for it. All right, but let's see if we get this pop here, guys. We're getting close. We got 25 minutes until the opening bell. I'm gonna set a stop here. See if we can move higher, see if markets get excited again. Oil did rebound all the way back up, but again, the news that is boosting markets really is that the Fed doubled their size of their Treasury buybacks. This increases bond prices, reduces yields as a consequence of it, and yields falling is a win for markets right now. That when markets fear high yields, you know, markets are treating this as disinflationary. I'm not saying it is, but they're treating it as such. You see oil prices moving a lot from this as well. Gold has reacted really well. Bitcoin reacted really well. This is a... I'll have to look at how much this one is. Hold on. I'm trying to see if we can go green on this. I've been sitting here for a while. We had 8 contracts originally, and we took some off. See if we hold up here. It's taking too long. There we go. That's better. All right. We'll take. Oh, I did not mean to cut the whole size there. I mean, we made 100 something from the trade or something like that. We're about 200 on the day actually, but I did not mean to cut it right there. Maybe it was the right move. Look at the NASDAQ start to dip here. what made this go up. Again, guys, listen. I'm going to keep covering it. You can also see it at the bottom of the screen. Treasury announces doubling the size of its bond purchases, long-term bond purchases. So they're buying more long-dated bonds. It pushes bond prices higher, yields lower as a consequence of it. And lower yields when 30-year bonds are at record high, or not record highs, but at 20-year highs, markets fear. Inflation, all this stuff moving markets. Markets don't like high yields, especially risk-on assets like gold and Bitcoin and equities. So when the Fed does this, again, look at TLT, long-term bond prices, they're ripping up, right? Because again, bond prices and bond yields inverse each other. When new bonds come out that have higher yields, bond prices go down because you got to lower the price of the bond. Because if you have one bond that's the same price as another bond, but the other bond has higher yields, people are always going to buy that bond. Like the old bond that are, if you keep them the same price, the old bonds are useless because nobody's going to buy a worse yielding asset for the same price, right? So what they do, and the reason they're inverse is because when bond yields go up and new ones are issued, they have to lower the prices of the previous bonds to justify people paying for them, because if they're the same price, people are always going to go to the higher yielding bonds, right? So they inverse each other. So this has pushed yields higher. Consequently, or this has pushed bond prices higher. Consequently, yields go down. If you look at long-term yields, especially, TLT is long-term bond prices. Long-term yields have fallen dramatically on this. And right, in lower yields right now in a market that fears inflation, geopolitical stuff, lack of Fed direction, especially long-term. The reason long-term bond yields are high right now, or were high, they're still high. But the reason they are and were is because, one of the reasons is because March isn't giving out as much forward guidance. And less forward guidance is uncertain. And, because of that, yields have been pretty freaking elevated. I mean, obviously, oil being at $85 a barrel doesn't help. Geopolitics doesn't help. Uncertainty there doesn't help. But, yeah, that's basically the story right now. That's why assets that don't yield are going up, because yields are down. Meaning more people are going to buy non-yielding assets because yields are paying out less, right? So gold, flying, about to break 4,500s. Bitcoin loves it. It's at 64,000. The NASDAQ loves it. Non-yielding asset. The NASDAQ loves it. S&P loves it. Dow loves it. Probably. Yeah. So non-yielding assets, risk-on assets, essentially love it. Let's see if gold breaks 4,500 here. Yeah, CD rates and interest rates all follow each other. Like interest rates, yields and interest rates follow each other. Yields and interest rates follow each other. So when yields go up, CD rates go up. Interest rate sentiment is higher. Gold up to 4,500. So gold did just break 4,500. We'll see if we continue to hold here, though. What happened? Did I miss something, bro? A lot of you guys are tuning in late. The Fed the Treasury doubled the size of their bond purchases, boosting bond prices, lowering yields. Lower yields is a win right now. That's boosting non-yielding assets like gold and silver and equities and Bitcoin. That's basically what happened. They doubled the size of their bond purchases, long-term bond purchases specifically. This made people more optimistic because of lower yields, and non-yielding assets, because of lower yields, are benefiting from it. I've said this like 10 times. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. In about a minute or so, somebody's going to be like, hey, guys, what happened? Yeah, all good, Chase. You're good, brother. Hey, what's up, Troy D? Thank you for the subscribe, my friend. We got a couple subscribers. I appreciate it. Sorry I didn't reference you, but I appreciate you guys. Macroeconomics major. He explains stuff well. Hey, thank you, Ski. I appreciate it. How come this is good to the market? Well, it's good for non-yielding assets. Again, the market moves in risk-on, risk-off sentiment. Risk-on sentiment is non-yielding. It means like equities, they don't give you a yield. They don't guarantee a yield. Crypto doesn't guarantee a yield. Gold doesn't guarantee a yield. The dollar is down from this. You know, but it's so those are risk-on assets, non-yielding assets. Risk-off assets are bonds and other stuff like them because they guarantee yields, right? So when things are sketchy in markets and non-yielding assets and markets are nervous, what do? They buy bonds instead, right? Why do they buy bonds? They buy bonds because, you know, they're guaranteed yields. They're guaranteed returns, you know? So, and look at gold, it's still flying up. NASDAQ, I should have held that dip, dude. John the Wimp today. I should have held that long I took on the pullback. Hey, what's up, Tiny? Taps! Shh! Feels knee-jerk on indices. What's up, bull market? Yeah, yields are... The net effect, essentially, is that yields are down. Long-term yields, especially. Look. Yields are down. Still moving down. I had a green day yesterday. But again, the big fear in markets is like markets are nervous because of high yields and long-term stuff especially. So, all right, guys, 15 minutes until the market opens. Let's see what we get today. To me, when something yields something high, that is good. Yields and interest rates follow each other though, so like it means higher interest rate sentiment and potentially like pushing, you know, it can be good and bad. Depends on what the market fears. Yeah, we do have the FOMC minutes today. Another potentially yield moving catalyst. And the 20-year bond auction, that's right. Yeah, look at oil here. NASDAQ getting close to 29,800s here. It seems really bullish. I'm just worried we might feel some of this gap down. So I'm just worried we're going to move down here. I don't know, though. I mean, this is a win. This is good for markets for sure, but... Oil looks very compressed. Bitcoin not far behind. Trying to keep the AI bubble, but it won't work. John the Worrier. I'm not really worried. Not really, you know. I could be a worrier. Auction would probably be horrible. What's up with the shorts on the NASDAQ? Always looking compressed. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin likes this. Bitcoin wants stimulation in the economy and easing. It does not want hawkishness. And so lower yields is, you know, good. Again, look at Bitcoin though. Bitcoin almost up to 65,000 on this. I just joined. Can you tell me why gold is flying? Gold is up right now because the Fed doubled the size of their bond purchases for long-term bonds. by doing so, it lowered yields as a consequence of it. Lower yields is better for gold because more people buy gold versus bonds when yields are down. Really love the stream, but you don't want background music? I mean, I can turn the music down a little bit. Do you guys like the music or dislike the music? What do you guys think? Who's a fan of the music? Who's not a fan? Let me know. Music or no music? I'm a gold bull. We got the market on open data in 7 minutes. I mean, I'm bullish on gold long term. Gold up to 45.20 here. Look at gold here flying. Music is good. It's a bit loud. Yes, I like music. Not my music taste. Music is why I'm here. I'm a fan of the music. I can't even hear the music. Dislike the music. Keep the music. Lower the music. I like it. Makes it intense. Yeah, I mean, we broke 4,500 on gold. It depends on... I mean, this is gold futures, though, so spot is a different story. Yeah, Moderna, crazy big news about a cancer trial. They're flying, too. I'm definitely watching Moderna at the opening bell. Yen is falling. John Long in Bitcoin. Like the music. Nervous. Would be dull without it. Yeah, that's what I think. I think you gotta have something playing in the background here. Again, gold up nearly 3% on the day. For spot. Music doesn't suit the channel and theme here. What's the theme of the channel? In my opinion, it's like breaking news. So we want like dun 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 music. But I'm a chill guy, you know? Some say I'm the chillest guy. They walk in, they're like, John, look how chill that guy is. Happy with my kilo bars of silver. All right, guys. Are you bullish or bearish for the opening bell here today, though? Are you bullish or bearish? We got 20 minutes left. 20 minutes left. Or, I'm sorry, 10 minutes left. Do you have K-pop? Bullish today? Bearish? Are you bullish or bearish today, guys? Let me know. I don't know what... I mean, look, we're up a lot. Market's really excited about this bond purchase doubling by the Treasury. Yields are down from it, making people more optimistic. But the problem is that we're up a lot from this. And so oil hasn't really... oil's basically flat on the day as well. Bibby, John, wager. Saints come to Baltimore week 2. Ugh. I want Shuck to do it, bro. Bibby, I want Shuck to do it, dude. I believe he can. Preseason, you know. I believe the Saints can do it, though. I believe they're not going to be the Aints. The Aints. They're going to be the Saints, not the Aints this year. We'll see, though. Good luck, my friend. I hope we win, Fimmy. You know, I hope we can do it, but we'll see, my friend. Bearish, mostly bearish people at the opening bell. Interesting. We'll see. Oh, I know. No, I'm talking about how the Saints did in our preseason game versus Jacksonville. All right, NASDAQ still getting up there here. Again, I'm watching 725s. We're over 725s. We're pushing towards 757s here. Again, guys, give your boy a follow at x.com at beginner trades. Also, again, if you want to help support the channel, you can use coupon code BGT at checkout. Great way to help support the channel. Check out Apex right now. Still doing 90% off Apex. 90% off. Take profit as 50% off. Uncapped payouts once you're over the daily buffer and more. Here's Apex's link, but you can use BGT on Take Profit. Links are all in the description. Tradeify is great. Take Profit is 50% off right now. It's only going to last for another week, and they've got really nice rules. So Take Profit might be the way right now. But again, I'm an affiliate of theirs, so I'm biased, but I genuinely think it's useful. 30-year yield spiking on 42%. Britt's coming back for the big streams. He's got stuff he's doing right now. He's coming back for the big streams, though. Like, we got CPI or NFP data, Britt will be here. But outside of that, I don't know. Yeah, Curtis, for sure. NASDAQ still looks very strong here. The market on open data is in 2 minutes here, though. 2 minutes. We're up to 740s. Lower yields means hyperscalers need less money to support their spending. Bullish for stocks. Yeah. I mean, lower yields generally bullish all the way around for most things right now in a market that fears inflation and interest rate sentiment and all that stuff. So, again, the Treasury announced it's going to double the size of long-term U.S. government debt buybacks after big surges in Treasury yields. It's now $2 billion. It was $2 billion. It's now going to be increased to at least $4 billion. It's supposed to provide what's called liquidity support here for bond maturing. So a lot of people have been calling for the Fed or for the Treasury to intervene, and this is what they're doing. Again, markets are hyper bullish right now on this news, up to 29,740s. We got market on open data in about a minute. It's not the market open. It's the market on open data that can sometimes move things. I think it's going to be small now, considering everything, but it's the market on open data. All right, guys, 50 seconds. 50 seconds. All right, NASDAQ's really close to highs here. About 20 seconds for the market on open data. Yeah, I don't even see what the Fed Watch tool shows right now. It's like servers are down. They can't support it. Probably too much traffic flowing into them right now, really. The news is right here, guys. I'm not going to explain it again. The news is right there. All right, here's the market on open data. The NASDAQ actually did drop a little bit, but here's 725. So this has been a support level for the last few days. 725 specifically, it has been some support here. Yeah, gold's flying up, Bitcoin's flying up, but the NASDAQ did bounce here. Look, 725s right here. All right, guys, 4 minutes. 4 minutes. All right, I'm gonna do another poll really quick here. Do you agree with the Treasury doubling the size of their bond purchases? Yes or no? Do you agree with the Treasury doubling the size of their long-term bond purchases? Yes or no? Vote on the poll. Poll is now live. I'll be right back, guys. Give me like a minute. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Not diarrhea. It's not diarrhea. That'd have been some fast ones. No, I had to go grab something. Obviously, it wasn't that. I'm running because it's the opening bell. Not because I had to go to the bathroom. All right. I don't go to the bathroom that fast, dude. I was way too quick. 2.5 minutes. So I did a poll. Do you agree with the Treasury doubling the size of their bond purchases? 55% say no, they do not. 47% say yes. Here's the opening bell in 2 minutes, though, chat. 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm drinking coffee. Yeah, honestly, we're still at 52% they say no here. Nebius again announced an offering, which is dilution. They're dropping down some. Do you really never use the bathroom? Yeah, guys, I don't go to the bathroom, bro. You know? I don't even know what the bathroom is. All right, guys, here we got 1 minute left. NASDAQ pulling back. It's under 725s now. I'm watching 700 underneath this, but we'll see if we get either a gap fill in some of this optimism that we have ahead of the opening bell from the bond purchase news, or we continue its move back up, or we continue the momentum on the upside here. Let's see. 45 seconds. Bearish, bullish. All right. 29,700s on the NASDAQ here. 20 seconds here, guys. 20 seconds. Let's see what this momentum looks like at the opening bell. It's time, I think. All right, here's the open. In 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's the opening bell. Let's watch the NASDAQ here. Let's see if yields continue to fall. I will buy 650 if we can stay around this level here, but it's so close to the opening bell. I don't hate 650 here, though. But we are starting to fill some of that gap at the opening bell from the optimism around the Treasury buyback announcement. We're down to 660s, 650s. I don't like to trade right at the open, but I don't hate 650 here. I do not hate 650. Okay, guys, I want to tell you guys something that just happened. All right. Oh my gosh, look at 650, dude. Ugh. Just to put it into perspective here, 650 is here, guys. Honestly, I feel a little bit better, though. You know what just happened? I forgot to exit out of my stop on Tradeovate. And as the market went down, it filled my stop, which was a sell. And I shorted and made some money just now accidentally. I was oblivious to it. Luck is better than skill, but man, look at 650 right here, dude. Again, it's too close to the opening bell. I can't really break my rules here. But it looks solid. 650 looks solid. And look, there we go. We tapped it. Now we're heading back up. We're at 680s now. Ugh, dude, that's literally the bottom. 650s. Hey, accidental money is better than nothing. I'll take accidental money. Again, we are now 2 minutes into the day. I gotta wait a little while to trade, but man, look at 650s. I'm still mad, even though I accidentally made money just now for forgetting to cancel a stop loss at the opening bell. That's 650s right here, dude. Wall Street traders got their stream up on one of their monitors. No, I think algorithms just love whole dollar, or like, I go in 25 increments. I go 25, 50, 75, 100. I look at those type of levels here. I also look at previous highs, previous support, and 650 was support. So it's just too close to the opening bell for me to really take the trade, even though it followed perfectly here and it's up, you know, 65 points from that exact level. It's all right. I got to follow my rules here. I can't trade for the first few minutes after the open. I got to wait and sit for a second. So again, 650 is a confirmed support and resistance level. If you put a longer term chart up here as well, markets have reacted to it. Like, look, here's really why I drew 650. I drew it earlier this morning. So if you tuned into the stream early this morning, this high is really close to 650, right? Why did I not just use this high? I didn't use this high because I think whenever you have like a big isolated level, I usually round to the nearest 25 level. So instead of using like 46 or whatever that was, I just rounded it to 650 and drew a line right there. This isolated level means a lot of people are watching it, paying attention to it. You might have buys stepping in there or resistance stepping in there if we're under it. But that is why 650 was a level on my chart this morning. So we didn't quite take it, but that's all right. Now I just gotta wait. I could trade now, but I gotta wait and see if I find some better edge. We're really green on the day though, so that's nice. Again, if you appreciate this content, you know, help support the channel. Check out Apex. Apex has the cheapest accounts in the game right now. They have $15 accounts on Apex right now. You can get a 5-pack bundle for $75 for the cheapest accounts. You can also get a $49 legacy reset. You get a 100k eval for $59 right now. If it's the intraday no activation fee eval, it's only $59 on Apex. You can help support us. Use the coupon code BGT at checkout. Get the link in there. We appreciate it. Yeah, I think the early birds make the worm unless it's the opening bell, and then people that trade too close to the opening bell, too early after the opening bell, do not get the worm. Y'all can let me know what they get. It's definitely not the worm, though. All right, so we're starting to come back down. I don't like 650 again. I only like the initial test of it. A retest of it is generally less reliable. So, like, we tap this level, we move up, and then we retest it. I just don't like the optics of how that looks in charts. And so I don't like it as much. Maybe we can go down to 625 right here. Maybe we can go to the VWAP at about 600 right there. But I do not. I don't personally like the retest of 650 here. It can work the first time. If it gets all the way pushed all the way back down to that level relatively quickly, it's just less reliable. It doesn't mean it's not going to work, but it's just less reliable in my opinion. There's 660s. Nebby is still falling down. Here's 650 again, but we'll see if we hold out. Ugh. $680s. We can watch 700 now above us. See if we can get over that. I see now we just broke 650s here. We're underneath it. Like I said, maybe look to 625s. But I just don't like the retest. Less reliable now. Yeah, Moderna. Cancer trial news. Still at 120s. It's back to the VWAP though. But honestly, it hasn't really moved much since the open. So it's slower for sure since the opening bell. Yeah, there's 640s. NBIS just flushed. There's the 200 exponential at 625. So this could be a buy level, but we're kind of in a downward trend since the open. And we're up a lot, so I think I'm just going to wait right now. But we are right at the 200 EMA. We could bounce here for sure. There we go. We bounced a little bit. There's the 200 exponential bounce here. Yep. Yeah, I missed out on this one, but that's alright. Doesn't mean it's gonna hold. Yeah, it looks bearish. That's why I don't wanna take the risk of attacking a gap fill here. Although we could hold, I'm not sure. We could hold. Again, the president's supposed to speak today at 2 p.m. Eastern time, according to the White House, with tech leaders. I think it's crypto leaders. I think like Brian Armstrong with Coinbase is going to be there and more. So they try to get the Clarity Act passed. I don't know. The longer we hold at the 200 EMA, the more I like a long here. But I might miss it again. I don't know. Okay. No, I'm not taking it. If we retrace back over the 200 exponential and hold for a little while, maybe. But again, I don't like trading against the trend here. I mean, the longer term trend's up, but the short term trend is down since the open. So I don't quite like it as much. VWAP down here might be interesting at 580s. MU actually technically red on the day now, so memory names, DRAM names pulling back. You guys red or green so far today? I'm green. I'm nicely green. Why are you so low now? Is my volume low? Did I mess with the mic too much? Can you hear me now? Is that better? Let me know. Yeah, here's the VWAP here. I will buy a small position at the VWAP right here, but we're falling fast, so it's going to be small, and then we'll add to it if it goes in my favor. But here's the VWAP. The problem is memory name. SanDisk giving it back a little bit here. I'm going to try to get into this and then add some size to it now. We have a cushion on the day to justify it, but I don't really like catching a falling knife here at the opening bell as much. We're still flattish, but I'll give us a second here. Okay, that's better, but not enough to add to it yet. I'm going to try to let it go up a little bit more. Alright, there we go. Let's see if we get it dipped out. I'll add some more to it, or maybe I won't need to add. We'll take some off there. We'll add back with this pullback here. There we go. Okay, good. I'll take a little bit more off here. I love the VWAP area. The VWAP just makes sense, I think, here, chat. I can hold the rest break even now. Yeah, I'm gonna get out the rest flat there. Okay. So we made money. We're about 300 on the day now, which is good. We got a cushion. The problem right now, I think, in markets is memory names are dipping down some. Here's MU. You know, MU went red. SanDisk is red since the opening bell. Moderna's flying higher, though. Oil's still pushing a little bit higher here as well, though. But yeah, for the NASDAQ specifically, I wanted to get out of that long. We got a little bounce at the VWAP. Now here's the previous closing price at 560. So we talked about this level earlier. This is where we closed yesterday. So 560s is relevant. This is this light blue line on the chart right here. So we'll see if we bounce off of this spot. I mean, we could, but we're pretty red right now. We filled the entire gap from the Treasury doubling their Treasury bond, long-term Treasury bond purchases, which lowered yields immediately in long-term bonds. But we have now effectively filled the gap, and we're back down to the previous closing price here. So here's the previous close. We are all the way back down there now. Please explain the repercussions of the Fed's announcement today. Well, the initial reaction, the reason markets got so excited from it is that yields are going to fall. You know, when they buy more, it injects liquidity, raise prices, and lowers yields. So if you look at long-term bonds, the net effect of it is this initially, which is what makes people so much more optimistic. You know, prior to this, 30-year bonds were at 20-year highs. And so this is kind of what the Treasury intervention that people wanted. And so that's why markets initially reacted well to this. But the longer lasting effects of this are still to be figured out. Ugh. Sneeze. Is that a bull or bear signal? Ugh. Ugh. Man. Sneezes, guys. Bear sneeze. Definitely bears. Alright, guys. So NASDAQ is rebounding. Look, and again, guys, I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to take credit. I'm not trying to say I talked about the previous closing price specifically. And I'm not saying that's exactly where we bounced just now. But that's exactly precisely where we bounced just now. And so again, if you do not have the previous closing price on your chart like this, where did we bounce? We bounced right at the freaking previous closing price. Very easy level to watch. A lot, like in technical trading, you want to figure out what everybody else is watching, right? The more obvious the level is, the better in technicals, because technicals are self-fulfilling. We talked about this yesterday. Technicals are self-fulfilling, meaning they work because people think they work. And so the more obvious something is, the more isolated something is, the more clear and clean something is on the chart, the better it will work in markets, right? And with that said, the previous closing price is a level which a lot of different groups of traders, day traders, investors, you know, market participants in general watch the previous closing price. And where's the previous closing price on the NQ? It's at 559s. Where did we bounce? We bounced at 559s. And so we'll see if we can keep going back up. It's one of the reasons the VWAP is so powerful as well, because regardless of what time frame your chart has, the VWAP stays stationary. It's the same price, meaning long-term traders watch it. Short-term traders watch it. It's also why I watch the 200 exponential, because it's not like the 9 or the 12 or the 28 or the 30, you know, day moving average. It is the 200-day exponential moving average, meaning it's a much longer-term moving average, much more watched. And again, we'll see if we can hold over it. If everybody's doing it, everybody's doing it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if we can hold over it, but we did bounce right at the previous close. Regardless of whether I took it. I mean, we talked about it. I'm just trying to show people what I'm watching and why I'm watching it. So, I think it's relevant. I think it's important to understand. You know? Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. And I've been trying to do a lot more technical explanation of like what I do and why I trade. And, you know, let me know if you guys appreciate it. I'm trying to explain my thought process a little bit here with you know, technicals. But again, we are in a downward trend. And so what can happen here is if we do go under this previous close and hold for a period of time, you know, technically the NASDAQ will be red on the day, and that might swing sentiment to the much more bearish side, but we'll see. It's not a given. Yeah, I have a hard time shorting it after this Treasury announcement as well. I think a lot of people have been wanting the Treasury to do this. And so now that they've done it, you know, it's hard to tell. Again, yields are down from it, long-term yields especially. But again, it's not just this. Like, people look at the market really one-dimensionally a lot of the time. And And you gotta watch a lot of different things. Like look at MU and SanDisk. That's what's dragging markets down to fill some of this gap. MU down to 930 still, red on the day. SanDisk now red on the day. Oil is back up to green on the day. And so it's not the end all be all of catalysts. It's something to focus on though and understand, but a lot of things move the market a lot of different ways. Target over 60 now. Hey, or 160s. People like to bring up my Nike trade. When I talk about Target, it's freaking crickets in here, you know. I would say it's one of the greatest trades of all time, John. Target, you know. Quote that, you know. Tell Buffett, get out the way. All right, so we just went red on the day. We are now under the previous closing price here. Yeah, so we just went red on the day. Again, this is mostly driven by memory names pulling back here. Target, I thought they were going out of business. Bro, have you been to a Target lately, dude? I hate Target. I hate being in Target. All right, look at the NASDAQ start to fall here. I don't know if this is catalyst driven or not, but Google's starting to move down. SanDisk starting to move down. MU starting to move down. Bro, every time I go to Target, it's packed. I hate it because I can't move around easily. It's kind of like Costco on a Sunday. Look at the NASDAQ turn here, though. Let's see if this is news driven. All right, so Galibaf, Iran's parliament speaker, did speak just now. He said, resistance is the only path to victory, and if we are not prepared, negotiations will also be fruitless, according to Fars News. I don't think this is really moving things that much. I think this is mostly memory names selling off. Like you can see the geopolitic dynamic with oil, and oil is not like spiking up in any big way. It is green on the day, but it's not really moving that much. I think this is memory sell-offs here. Look at MU. Breaking lows of the open, down to 930s right now, still crashing down in chips. Look at SanDisk, doing really bad. We just broke under the 29,500 level in the NASDAQ. Look at this breakdown here. So, yeah, markets are really going down. Mostly on memory and chip sell-offs. MU down, SanDisk down, NVIDIA down to 218s right now. So, chips are selling off right now. That's what's driving this downward pressure in markets. Yeah, I mean, some of the guys are getting liquidated for sure that jumped in on this Treasury announcement. But it's mostly memory related here. Like memory down to 218s on NVIDIA. Or not memory, but chips. Chips altogether are down. NVIDIA down, MU down, SanDisk down. These are chip sell-offs going on right now in markets. Again, we did have Galibaf speak, but oil, I mean, and oil is up a little bit over the last 2 minutes. But markets are now red on the day. And like I said, if we break under that previous close and that downward momentum starts to spiral, it could look a lot more bearish here. Now, the low of the day here in the NASDAQ is not that far away from us. We're at 430s at the low of the day here. So this level right here is the low of the day. If we get a bounce up to 29,500, I don't hate a short. I'm a little bit nervous about shorting this market right now. But I don't even know if we're going to get a bounce to 29.5s. Because as of now, we are just really red here. We just broke lows of the day. And the NASDAQ now down to 420s. 406s actually are now the new lows. So I didn't even get a chance to get the 500 short. But chips are breaking down. Oil's elevated. NVIDIA's falling down to 218s right now. So weakness is showing up in market. But the sell-off continues. Yeah, it's AI names breaking down for sure. Chips, mostly. But, again, this is after Nebius also announced an offering this morning. It's breaking down today as well. After the dilution news at 218s for Nebius. Again, NVIDIA and other big companies are holding pieces of Nebius as well. So it has a cascade effect. But look, man, we are falling down here. Looking a little sketchy right now. Yeah, Netflix is up to almost $80. might short 29,500. I don't love it. It's going to be small and we'll add to it. But we're up like 300 on the day, so we got some room to play with today. But if we get up to 29,500s, I might short this level here. Big whole dollar number, confirmed support and resistance back here. Numerous different times at 29.5s right around here. So I'm going to look for that level as a short. I don't know if I'm going to get it, and it's going to be small size because we get back up over 525s, I'll have to get out. But that's the plan right now. Yeah, definitely some red going on in markets today. All right, here's 29,500s. I don't know if it's going to hit that level exactly, though. We'll wait. All right, we'll get it a little bit early here. I don't usually get in this early, but I like 29.5, so we'll see if we can. I'll add up to maybe 4 contracts here. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to, though, man. I don't want to miss a big downward push here, but I might. I gotta wait a little while though, but I like a little bit higher here. Let's see. I might not get it though. Hey, later, Peak. Have a good day, bro. Gold, on the other hand, is holding at 4,500s. See, I just didn't get a chance to really take any size here. I mean, we got close to 29,500. Close enough to enter, I think, but not enough to take size. Let me draw a level right here. 29,500s right here. Just didn't get a chance to add. I mean, I'll add if it keeps breaking down, I guess, but I don't like it as much as if I would have taken bigger size at 29,500s. We're down 40 points from that level though now, but with the market moving as much as it has after this Treasury after the Treasury announcement, Moderna is up to almost 140s right now. It is up a wild percentage here, a wild percentage. Maybe I'll get a chance to add some to this now. I got to take small size and then add to it. Adding to winners is generally better than adding to losers, but I want 29,500s. And I think there's some optimism to be had in markets too here. I don't know if I'm going to add to this now. I'll add a little bit here. And then we'll add one more at 29.5s. Let's see if that pushes us down quickly. I could just get squeezed out, but we'll give it a second. Yeah. I'm going to reduce my size immediately here, though. 29.5s I still like, but I don't know. There's still risks. There we go. There we go. All right, we'll take that off now. I'll add a bounce. I want to bounce if we get it. There's a small bounce here. We'll add to that. There we go. I need a little bit more size here, to be honest. This isn't quite big enough, but I'm not gonna add any more right now. I'll wait. Ugh. Here we go. Man, Moderna up to 140 basically right now. I just want to see if we break down more. It's taking a little bit too long, though. We're starting to consolidate too much here. We do have 10 a.m. I don't like that. I'm going to reduce size quickly here. I don't like that bounce. It might fake me out, but we're basically flat on that one, which is fine. We get back over 29.5s. I might short again, but I'll wait now. I still don't hate a 29, the short here, but the longer it takes to break down, the less I like it. And there's the breakdown, so it's okay. We got out flat, basically, which is fine. All right, I'll jump in a short again here, but we're gonna take it really slow now. 3 minutes of sideways chop. It's a lot of indecision. Oil's actually starting to fall down some here, though. What's going on? Semis have found some ground here, but still looking weak on the day, though. You should have waited. I mean, I did kind of wait. I managed it break even mostly on the trade. What I like to do is get in small and then add to it. And so if it gets in small, if I get in small and it doesn't work, it's fine. It's a small loss. If I add to it and I win, it's a much larger win. So helps keep my losses small. But 500 seems to be propping us up right now. We have the Fed minutes report today. So we do have the FOMC minutes report at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But there's 10 a.m. We just don't seem to be going anywhere right now. We're really flat and neutral here, so I'll give it a second and wait. But like, look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq's basically chopping sideways right now. You start to push towards the low, I might jump. All right, we just jump back in around the low. Let's see if we get close to it now. Breakout's a little bit, or breakdown's a little bit more confirmed here now. And we'll take a piece off on this retracement back up, see if we can add more. I want to see, even if we liquidity grab at the low, my target is the low here. There we go. I mean, this is a very small trade. I just don't. If we get close to the low, I'll cover it, but it seems heavy. I'm going to short 29.5s again if we get up there. Yeah, it looks heavy. I mean, we could do anything though. Nothing's absolute, but it looks heavy. I'm waiting to add to this maybe, but I'd prefer. I don't like a complete low of the day break. That's not really what I like. I think we fake out before then on the upside. So I'm trying to see where I want to cut it. I think I want to cut it at like 40. Oil just jumped up some. That might help bring the Nasdaq down more. really what we're looking at is stabilization and like semis and memory. I'm just trying to limit my risk here, though. I don't want to take too much risk on this being up so much on the day. I'm just struggling to really do anything right now. Such a small trade. I want to add more to it, but we're really just, we have no range right now. We're not really going anywhere. I'm waiting to see if we crack this low and get a push down. But I also worried we're going to grab liquidity and then bounce after we do. I mean, the Dixie's down, specifically because the yields are down. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it here. I don't, it's just taking too long to do anything. Yeah, the Dixie's down because the bond, the Treasury market doubled their bond purchases, meaning it immediately lowered yields. And lower yields, less people, you know, when bond yields are high, people use the dollar to buy yields, or to buy bonds. So the net effect of the Treasury announcement doubling the size of their bond purchases, pushing yields down, and bond prices up and yields down. The net effect on the dollar is that it weakens. Yeah, I mean, I've just been scalping in markets today too. It's been, I mean, we're up, but it's taking too long here. We're too sideways. There's 29,500s. I don't hate a short at that level here, but if we break it, the problem is that we can squeeze up fast, and I don't want that, obviously. So we're already down, and I think the yields announcement, the Treasury announcement is bullish overall. I'm still watching 29,500, so I want to see if we can get over that. Like we shorted 29.5s here. Looks a little bit better. We'll hold the rest break even. Here we go. There we go. We'll cut a little bit more. I'm gonna hold this last little piece break even now. We'll set a stop. Wait, that's not a stop. That's a stop. All right. Yeah, I'm streaming the Fed minutes. Yeah, we are. All right, let's see if the downward trend continues here, chat. Let's see. Again, if you want to help support the channel, Apex has the cheapest accounts right now. But Take Profit has 50% off, no activation fee. And they also reduce the time it takes to pass from 5 to 3 days. Also, no payout restrictions or no payout caps once you're over the initial buffer. And so again, take profit might be the way. We have this one micro contract left here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this right here. I think we're up over 100 on the last micro. So we are now up about, 4 or so on the day or more. But again, if you want to help support the channel, check out Take Profit. We talked about this 500 level a lot, and we did attack that just now. So again, we'll try to document levels every day, show you guys the levels. If I forget, remind me, and I will show you guys the levels I'm watching today. I'm trying to do more technical analysis here. Oil just jumped up. So oil did just jump higher here. But again, you want to check out Take Profit, or you can use my code on Apex. Hey, nice drop. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, brother. Great way to help support our content if you appreciate the free stuff. Again, let me know if you appreciate the technical stuff we're doing. I'm going to try to do that more and more here, so you guys understand where my mind is with some of these levels that I watch. Like, if I could find a good technical level, while also attacking the trend, I think that makes a lot of sense, right? It's looking weak, though. Nvidia's breaking down. Oil did just jump up some. Oh, sorry to hear that, Mac. Sorry, brother. It happens, though, dude. Could be worse. 300 down's not bad. That's how it goes. Let me get rid of my stop loss before I accidentally make money again. Oh, we're at 443s. Let's see if we hold now. Moderna, man. Lying, dude. Moderna's almost at 150 right now. Technical level talk is great. Hey, thank you, man. Yeah, I'll keep working on it. And again, if you want to just help support the channel, check out me on X at Beginner Trades. There's my X handle. I appreciate a follow if you haven't already, guys. Yeah, gold is loving the bond news. Lower yielding bonds means more people buy gold. Gold up to 45 plus. Look, here's gold futures. Look, 4,500 on gold. We talked about this level this morning as well. Look right here. So 4,500 made a lot of sense on gold. A lot of people watching it. Just a really obvious level. We've had many confirmed resistance and support areas around 4,500 for the last week on gold. And so gold's still holding at 4,500, still pushing here. Netflix, hey. $80 a share Netflix. You love to see it. You love to see it. I'm going to mess with Brit. Brit didn't like Netflix long. He's about to hear it from me. I'm going to write him a strongly worded letter. Tell him he better fix his Netflix outlook. All right, NASDAQ right close to the lows here, though. So gold's pumping, though, while the NASDAQ dips here. Look at the NASDAQ getting really close to these lows. All right, we just cracked lows of the day on the NASDAQ. 29,395 in futures on the NQ is the new low of the day here. Hey, thank you, Drop, my guy. Hey, thank you, brother. Hey, what's up, Tiny? Hey, shout out to the follows. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Inverse brick. Yeah, NASDAQ still breaking down here, looking weak, filling some of this gap. We're at 390s in the NASDAQ. Again, memory and chips still falling here. Still breaking down some. When's the bond auction today? I know we got the Fed minutes at 2. And the FOMC minutes report is at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. President's supposed to speak as well. Oil still holding green on the day, though. The Nasdaq's at 400 now. It's still pushing down under 400s now, still breaking here. I don't know, at a certain point I'm not bearish anymore. $392s. Yeah, we do have the EIA report. 15 minutes. I don't know. We're kind of sideways here now in markets, though. We're not really doing much. I mean, over the last 5 minutes, I mean. Long or short here? I think you could argue a long. Like, you got to understand. Sorry, hold on. I'm reading some news. One of the things that this admits here with you regarding the Fed or the Treasury purchases is that it means, like, the admission of debt is getting pretty expensive, you know? It also kind of distorts what's really going on in terms of high oil and yields, but like, this is essentially money printing, by the way. Like, it's like, if you support bonds while running deficits, it means printing money. And so small buybacks aren't inflationary. Large scale ones could be, though. And like, we'll see what that means. Now we're up here a little bit. Bury Fields. Weak market, sold all positions, way to get till October. I mean, we bounced at 375. We get another $250 level, and I hope you guys understand. Technicals are in tune with $250 levels, which makes sense, right? 375 bounce. 500s here. 525s here. 550s right here. I could short, or 450, I mean, is right here. I don't know, no, most of this, again, driven by, like, memory breakdown, SanDisk, MU. Might buy a little trade here and see if we get a bounce right around here.
small. Maybe add to it if it goes up. We'll set a stop loss like 423s, 420s maybe. But I'd ideally like to see a continued bounce. There's a small bounce. I'd like to add to it though. I'm gonna wait. I need to be more green to add to it. This is pretty small risk. Now we're just gonna wait and see if we can take larger size here. I don't want to give back my profit. We're up a bunch, so. But I wouldn't mind adding to this. It just depends. We need to push up a little bit more for me too, though. Hey, thank you, AF. Appreciate it, brother. Tesla's like, hold up a minute. Let me go back up. Not really going up enough. I mean, that's a little bit better, but we are kind of fighting the trend here with this one. A little bit better. Not enough for me to add to this yet, though. This looks worse for sure, but we'll just let the stop out happen if it happens. Tapped it. Just stop me out. It might bottom tick me here, but that's okay. Hey, nice, Jared. Yeah, what's going on? Those memory names still below me. I think that's. I don't know if that's the first long I've taken today. I think I might have taken others, but again, what's going on is memory names are still flushing down some here. They kind of look weak. Still, that's dragging market sentiment down. Yeah, all good, Jared. Yeah, I mean, if you passed it, I mean, you passed it. What's the point of passing it if you're not going to activate it? You know? Yeah, we got the EI, what is it? The EIA refinery crude numbers coming out. Or the EIA numbers coming out in 9 minutes. We'll cover it. We'll see if it moves anything. Again, chips are still selling off here, though. It's just driving markets back down now. We also could get some positioning ahead of those numbers. See if we do, but I think my headphones just died. Yeah, they did. All right, we just jumped in a long here. I thought we might grab liquidity right here. So we're getting out. We'll hold the rest flat. It's a quick long, so I didn't have time to show it, but crap, I accidentally shorted. Let me get out of that. All right, we're fine. Yeah, we're up about 600 now, which is good. Slow, steady, bunch of base hits. I don't want to drink that. Yeah, we're still kind of liquidity grabbing up here, though, so we'll see if we hold now. Again, the expectations, crude expected at 0.2%, distillate at negative 0.9%, gas at negative 1.2 million. Or crude expected at 0.2 million. Yeah, Nebius did a offering this morning. They announced an offering this morning. And again, if you don't understand what that is, that means they're offering more shares, meaning they're diluting their float. They're diluting current investors. You add more shares to the float, each individual share is now worth less, right? So offering news almost always makes the market go down, or makes whatever it is go down. And NBIS announced, what was the size of the offering they announced earlier? It was, I saw it earlier. Nebius. A $4.5 billion offering. Or 4.5 billion notes. Yeah, I'm gonna cover the crude inventories coming out, or the EIA numbers. Remember, we got the Fed minutes report going live at 2 p.m. Eastern time. It's not like a big moving thing generally, though. Again, crude oil inventory is expected at 0.2 million, which was much lower than the 17.423 million last time. Yeah, I'm gonna stream Fed minutes. Yeah, for sure. All right, we're at 418s. Market might be waiting for this. We got 4 minutes left. How's that getting a little bit back up there, though? Lurkers, are you still here watching the stream? Are you here? Look at Moderna, 162s right now. Yeah, y'all are still here. Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, what's up, Jared? You're good, dude. Battling back to green. All right, yeah, I don't know what these crude numbers are supposed to do to markets. We'll see, though. Buy the freaking dip. Hide in the shadows. Yeah. All right, Nasdaq started to pop back again. We got 2 minutes left until these numbers come out, but I don't know if they're really going to do anything. Yeah, I mean, I think markets might get a little nervous about this bond move. It's seen as intervention. It's seen as maybe a fearful reaction. So I think markets are going to be a little nervous from this, but long term, short term, I mean, it's a win. It brings yields down. All right, here we go. 1 minute. Nasdaq's starting to bounce back a little bit though, but we're still kind of flat. Just working while listening. What's up, Slim Dog? This is a prop account mostly. I mean, I have live investment account as well, and we swing trade too. Where's Target at, dude? My baby right now. Target 160. How about Netflix too? It's also my baby here. I have at $80 a share. You'll love to see it. All right, here we got 40 seconds. Or 77s. I didn't say to invest in Netflix. I might have said I'm investing in Netflix. All right, here we go. Numbers come out in 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's the numbers. All right, 4.405 million crude oil inventories. They only thought they would get 0.2 million expected, but we showed up at 4.4 million. This might lower the price of oil. More inventory here might lower the price of oil. It could benefit markets, but here's oil. So oil, as this news just came out, is dropping down at 84.60s. Look at oil fall on this news. Again, much more crude oil inventories than expected here. And look at oil fall right now. Nasdaq actually, I mean, this might be a bullish thing. More supply, less demand, lower oil, lower inflation is the logic. But look at oil fall. Yeah, this pop is correlated with the crude oil inventory showing up at 4.405 million versus 0.2 expected. So that's what's going on right now. That's why oil dipped so much in the last minute here. Doesn't mean much. Sometimes the first move is the wrong move. And with so many other catalysts, like it could be moving markets a lot, you know. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to head out. I got the Fed minutes report to cover later here. So we do have the Fed minutes report that we're obviously going to be covering later. So we'll see you guys in a few hours. Y'all be safe. Market's interesting today for sure. A lot of volatility here. So y'all be safe in this market. Again, you want to help support your boy here, you can check out Take Profit. 50% off. No activation fee. No caps on payouts after the initial buffer. 50% off for the next week or so. So if you want to check them out, I will put this link up. A great way to help support the channel. You can also check out Apex, cheapest accounts in the game, $15 accounts. You can check out Lucid. I would say Lucid, best rules in the game. You can find all the links in the description if you want to help support the channel. And we'll be back a little bit later. Here's the Take Profit link if you want to check it out. But yeah, we will be back later, guys. Y'all be good. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Have a great day. Appreciate the love today, guys, and all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Fed minutes later. Be ready. I'll see you guys.